What's good, Shaolin? It's the 82nd Astronaut with my co-host Marco for a very special episode of Kicks and Comics. It's special because we're here at MAGIK Supply in the domain with...
King Magik.
And Dyna Magik.
Yeah, thank you guys for sitting down with us, for giving us the time.
Yeah.
Right off the top, shout out to Nana at Elmcroft. She is working through every resident, so...
Seeing a new guy now?
New guys.
New guys.
New
okay.
guys.
You guys know how nursing homes are.
Yeah. she gets around. But she's our biggest fan, so we got to give her a shout out. Our producer, AJ Bingham, is here also, and we want to give him the shout out as well, and BG Media Group, and also for setting up this opportunity with you guys.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Sincerely appreciate you guys having us. In all honesty, I want to go back to something because we were just talking about your love for Temptation Island, King. How much you really, really love watching that show. But I wanted to finish my story. That I feel your pain. I understand that, Dyna has gotten you to love it.
Slightly forced, yeah.
I mean, let's be honest. If he's watching it, he's not really that forced. You're invested now, where you're like, I have to see this play out.
Oh yeah.
So I was dating. It seems like I always talk about the same ex, and you're like, oh, she's such a gem, such a peach.
Well,
and it makes me watch scary movies I don't want to watch. Hey. Yeah, we won't go there.
We won't go there.
It's not really, not between him and I. But yeah, no. So Real Housewives of New Jersey was our thing, and I was working early mornings at the job I had, and this is how bad it was. Like I would wake up at 4, I'd go to work at 5, and I'd be so mad about what happened on the episode the night before.
It deeply impacts you and affects you.
Yeah,
you're like I'm offended.
No, but you get so angry because you're just like, why did she do that? I can't believe, Danielle's such a, what the? Yeah. And you just find yourself, I worked at Target. That's where I was working. I was doing price change. So I'm sitting there scanning clothes, right? Just to, put tags on them.
Yeah.
And I'm just sitting here getting angrier and angrier. Everything I'm scanning, just putting a clearance tag on it. And I'm just like, and then one day I'm just like, dude, why are you so, and I finally went home and I was like, I can't watch this show with you anymore because I go to work so angry every day about what happened.
Yeah. No, definitely you have to reserve it for a day, or when you're in in the right mental mind frame to absorb that negativity and not let it absorb into your mental. You have to watch, for us it's Mondays. We watch we call it Ratchet TV on Mondays. And that's the only day where we're able to absorb it because Mondays kind of suck. So you're like, all right, let's end the day and watch someone else's day be worse. Well, our life isn't that bad, so our life is pretty good. And then we go into Tuesday, glorious.
Which what's the mentality? I've always wondered what the mentality is for the people that actually go on those types of shows.
It's clout, stardom, quick fame.
Right, but there's the real world. It's people living the house trying to get along. Here, it's just you're airing. I feel everything out. Yeah. My wife and I watch. What is it? Married at First Sight or something like that.
Ooh.
With
a lot of people like that show, but we haven't watched it.
It's good, but I would never do that. Marry someone, and I think their pass rate ratios they're probably in the 20s or 30s of people that make it.
Oh,
so I don't know, 20%, yeah. Out of the entire history of the show.
What's the divorce rate in the United States?
50-50.
50.
I think it's actually 51%.
Yeah.
Okay.
49%. 51% of marriages end in divorce.
So being 20-30% on the married at first sight.
Pretty good.
Yeah, actually, that's pretty good for a random marriage.
Okay, Dyna, I get it. I'm going on the show. Okay.
Great, signed up. So
yeah. That's the second season of Kicks and Comics.
We got to make this show work. So we got to do something to get people
some
attention.
kind of
Are you gonna do it?
No, absolutely.
he's gonna do this. We wanted the check already cleared.
Are you the guinea pig?
Dang it.
I think you should definitely do it.
Well, if the producer's telling me that I'm gonna do it, then I'm gonna do it. But yeah, sorry. This is how our show works. So you guys are probably like, "What the heck did we get ourselves into?"
Did I do it ourselves? I totally forgot.
We're not all superheroes. Wear capes. Somewhere Air Jordans. Well,
It's at the end. It's all good.
Okay.
Our faithful listeners are going to be so mad they probably turned off the podcast at this point.
It's done.
Yeah.
It's done.
The all 4 of 5-star reviews that we have on iTunes.
Our 12 listeners.
But yeah, no. So we said we're at MAGIK Supply in the domain, and obviously we went on a big tangent because I wanted to finish that story before I forgot, because I would have, and then remembered halfway through the show and then interrupted a far more important moment.
Facts.
But if you guys want to maybe take the opportunity right now and just kind of tell people what MAGIK Supply is, like when you guys got started, and just go on that journey, and then we'll go from there.
Okay. Well, basically, so I am King Magik. I started out as an artist since I was a kid, doing a lot of like illustrations, kind of going crazy with it. Used to draw a lot of horror characters, stuff like that. Always pretty creative. So I took that passion, kind of grew from there. Started selling a lot of vintage stuff. Again, being a big collector, being creative, I always wanted like your horror collectibles, we got an Urkel in here.
You identify Urkel as horror?
No, just that.
No, I mean, for some people it is.
For some people it is.
Yeah, absolutely.
We got a chick, she's terrified of it, that works here.
That call center movie was a horror to me. What is that freaking name of that movie?
I know what you're talking about, where they get locked in.
Love it. We're already on a tangent.
They're Belko.
No.
Oh, the Belko experiment.
No, that was
said?
that one's pretty. It was labeled as a comedy,
Mayhem?
and it was our favorite actor who was in Get Out. Do you remember the guy that was in Get Out with the
You're
hat?
talking
Lil
about
No.
Hey.
Yes.
That was a horror movie. Well, I didn't talk. I didn't
Hey,
talk about
thanks
was
for, this is
terrifying.
Chad. Thanks for calling us. That was a horror.
What's the voice on?
Sorry to bother you.
Sorry.
Yes, that was a horror movie.
Okay.
Yeah. No,
It
it's
is.
a crazy movie. Yeah.
Like, but people thought it was like a comedy, and I was like, no, like
It was a
that,
good mix,
like
like-
touched me in the wrong way, and that was scary. But go
That movie's
ahead.
hilarious. But so from there, but always into a lot of film, TV, horror, sports, stuff like that. So I think, what was it? Just finding like little collectibles laying around. People would always, oh, I don't want this. I always kind of seen like gems and things. So if it was an old Oilers jacket or whatever it was, I always seen like a potential, kind of come up on that. So I started collecting. I mean, I was selling shoes in high school, everything. Just stacking up cool stuff, snapback hats, all that. Nobody was really doing it the time that I was doing it, like selling crazy 1980s, 90s apparel, stuff like that. So once it got hot, like the kids were going out, buying it, stuff like that. I made a big name for myself doing that. People would literally call me, contact me, saying, hey, you got this, I would find it for you. If you wanted a rare Bulls hat, a white satin jacket, whatever it is on it, I was the person that you reached. So once it kind of died out a little bit, I took a lot of those funds, flipped it into Magik, which I was already creating. A lot of artist pieces, jewelry out of wood, different, just crazy stuff.
So even going backward, he would find like old beat up dusty Jordans, take the paint colors, match, refurbish them to like pristine new condition, clean them up. It was beautiful. Take the creases.
Do you still do that?
A little bit.
The time is an issue.
Time.
Like
Right.
we're focused on other avenues where we would love to do that, but that would be probably have someone else, like an employee, teach them how to do that and run those services out of shop. It wouldn't be done by him. And then during that time when he was doing that, that's when he was finding the snapbacks, refurbishing those items, bringing them back to pristine shape. And then he was doing wood pieces, like where he would take a rotary tool. Is that what it's called?
Like a Dremel?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I would just find, that's when like Goodwood, a lot of that stuff was in.
Yeah.
Like, New York stuff.
But they were all
kinda
doing
big,
like the laser cutting, cheating.
And I was
wouldn't call it
literally
cheating, but
cheating.
Cheating.
But I was literally doing it by hand and doing a lot of stuff that people wouldn't see on a regular day. So
Yeah.
I was actually like making a piece look like it was made out of gold or metal, but in reality it was a piece of wood that I literally took an image that you sent me, your logo or your rapper name, and turned it into a whole piece. So it was pretty cool, something crazy. There's a lot of people still even have theirs to this day.
yeah, I've seen them.
And that was about, I want to say, 10, 11 years ago?
Okay.
And just still going. So
Yeah.
kind of took a lot of that, put it in the clothing. I've always been a bigger guy, so it's like, it was always hard to find cool stuff to wear. I always wanted to be different. So I was like, you know what, let me start making my own clothes. Like, putting something else different out there. People always came to me, hey, I know you always got something different.
Yeah.
So I was like, man, people want something different.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like still the goal, is always giving something different out there.
Yeah.
And just taking that same artistry from wood form and refurbishment and that artistic vision and turning it into more of that fashion side and making sure that people would actually wear his items and make it almost, I know the term wearable fashion is kind of tapped out, but literally during that time, that's exactly what we were doing. And just...
To what time frame? Just a...
I want to say...
2012, 13?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You say that and it's like, you feel like that's not that long ago, but it is.
No, it is.
Right, yeah.
It's like, geez, we're about to be 2020.
We're at the end of a decade.
Yeah.
Literally. It's crazy. So a lot of that.
Yeah.
And like I said, we just years and years of building, turning it into an online store, putting new clothes on there, do everything limited. So every drop is always 10 to 15 to 20 pieces, new t-shirt designs, everything. We're always a good team of doing things ourselves. So it's always about figuring out how to do it in-house, finding the lowest but best quality way to make something, do it. So, and we're still doing that to this day. So it's like keeping it in-house, keeping it family close.
Yeah.
Building off of that, you get too many hands in a pot, that's when you start
Right.
No, absolutely.
losing quality, start losing.
Well, so you lose that artistic,
Yeah.
like whatever you put in your piece, then it kind of becomes, I see you have the IKEA stuff here, which I think I want to touch on kind of the hype beast culture, like in general, and what are your thoughts on. We hit on it later, but I like how, you keep it limited. You create that like aura of kind of exclusivity that people like. But it stays true to what you made. So, and I also like that your Magik, it's actually an acronym. Can you walk us through that, how you came up to that?
So yeah, that was kind of a thing. A lot of people, even still now, they come in here and they're like, man, I know that name sounded familiar. I remember you in high school. So it's like, that's pretty cool. It was just something, again, being different. Always went by Magik. It was just taking the C, changing it into a K, which went with my name. And then just from there, it's marvelous, angry, great, invincible, creative. So and it's kind of like a message for everyone, to be, and a lot of people ask, why angry? And I'm like, well, anger isn't negative.
It's not rage.
It's you carry it. If you're angry about like you're passionate and you're angry within what you do, you can make something happen out of that. So
unless you're in the Star Wars universe.
Yeah, there you go.
Then it leads to hate.
That's true.
Hate leads to suffering.
Exactly.
We're not in the Star Wars universe, though.
True. Very true.
No, but I like that anger. I see it as drive, as passion.
Exactly.
Or even when you're angry, you're just like, I am an accountant for a living, and I don't have a creative outlet.
Yeah.
So sometimes when I'm angry, I just like, I need to like doodle something, or this is kind of like where this podcast was born out of, my need or want to do something creative that won't land me in jail.
And the better, and what I've noticed, just like you said, my most angriest times have always brought something different out of me. And it wasn't negative, it was always positive.
Right.
It may have been negative within your own mind, but then, like you said, you're branching out doing something different. If it's doodling or whatever, it's like, wow, I just came up with a crazy idea.
Yeah.
Because I was upset, I fueled positive energy. So
Right.
And anger tends to be a trigger or catalyst for change
Right.
in a lot of situations. And yes, that initial trigger of emotion may be perceived as negative, but with the result that comes from that, it's always positive. Change, getting better, just constant innovation is always positive.
Right. It leads to reflection.
Exactly.
Then you're like, why am I angry?
Yeah.
And then
You
you
only
figure
get
that
better.
out, and then
Exactly.
you go and you do something about it.
And you learn more about yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I
Always.
think like revolution comes out of anger. Like you're angry
Oh,
about
yeah.
something and you revolt, and and usually people like revolution usually brings out something positive. It definitely brings out change. So like, I really, when I saw it behind this, I was like, I really dig that it's an acronym and not just like if you don't agree with the anger part, you can agree with the marvelous or there's something you can take from that. You're like, oh yeah, I identify with this, I connect with that, not so much other. So I find it really really like inclusive, dope name.
Yeah.
So,
And
Thank
basically, yeah, really appreciate it. The supply came from, I did that probably, I want to say 7-8 years ago. So it was
Maybe 5.
it
Because
was a while.
before we were
did it-
Magic Mania.
Yeah, there you go. Totally forgot about that.
We were
So,
Magic
yeah.
Mania. And before that, we were MMXV. And then Magic Mania, then it became Magic Supply. And that was before that whole wave of supply became popular.
Yeah, I was really upset about that.
Yeah.
So I was trying to so at that point I was trying to collect make all the handles the same, put
Yeah.
the website,
Yeah.
everything you want
Yeah.
the same. So it turned into, okay, well we supply goods, we supply, luxury stuff, we supply sneakers, we supply footwear, we supply clothes. So it was like art. So I was like, what? Hey, let's go the Magic Supply route. We supply everything cool.
right.
We're supplying magic. So
Facts.
once we did that, I think maybe a year later, Kanye does the whole Yeezy supply. So
Yeah.
I look around because I've been trying to figure out we've talked about you guys a couple times on the show. After we visited you guys, we brought you up and thanked you for letting us come in and talk with you. And I've always had a tough time with saying I don't even really know what to describe their store as, and it's realistically it's a gallery. That's what your store is. It's a gallery. You have art and the sneakers are art, the vintage stuff is art. Everything you have is curated in a way that's what you feel like you're walking into.
Exactly.
Regardless of whether or not you're coming in here and you actually buy something, you're gonna walk out remembering the things you saw.
it's an experience.
So
And that's exactly what we were going for. Just overall, if you look at the walls or if you look at a shoe that you've never seen before, everything in here is something to marvel at, experience, to see. Maybe you've never seen it before. Maybe you've just seen it online. And this is an opportunity to kind of, this is actually worth the money to buy. And just like regular art would be. And of course, it's basically whatever's in there in his dome of brain, it's splattered in the store. Literally, if you could saw open his head like Hannibal.
We're doing that.
We're not doing that.
And
Sorry,
take a bite of it. This is it.
You talked about Get Out. That's
There we go.
This is it.
Would you like some tea?
No.
Sit down. Hey, real quick though, props to you. The only reason I have these shoes now is because of you. You said if you're gonna buy Air Force Ones, you have to go loud and crazy.
Yep.
I was always scared of wearing Air Force Ones. But I actually love these shoes now, and I already have a second pair of Air Force Ones.
There you go. See.
Styling services are also available.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need that.
Okay.
I'm already trying to get the Travis Scotts that are coming out.
Okay. If you want to sell, let us know if you do get them.
I will let you know immediately.
I want to put this out. I want the Chicago ones in February, so just
okay.
putting this out.
We got you. Your shoe size?
10.
Okay.
Oh, that's perfect.
Okay.
So,
We got you.
11.
But
If
yeah,
it easier.
Yeah.
Facts.
Yeah. Basically, he just called me basic. He said even easier. Shoe size. Yeah, we got that.
I'm really a 9.5, but I like round. I like order, so I'm a 10.
He feels like people notice when he's wearing a 9.5. They're like, those shoes look really small. But when he wears a 10, they're like,
No joke. We went to LBJ High, and the only reason I never got jacked for my Jordans was because I had a small foot.
Oh, man.
I had on multiple occasions
Wow.
people come up to me and be like, "What size shoe you wear?" And I'd be like, "Oh, it's a 6." I don't know if it was a 6 at the time.
Yeah, you
They're
just have
like,
to make it up.
"Dog." No, but he, the person had a big old foot. He's like, "Man, you're lucky." And then he walks off what
What does that mean?
See, and if that guy had just worked in a shoe store, he would have been able to look at your foot and know immediately.
Yeah, that's what
I worked at Finish Line, so I can look at somebody's shoe usually.
yeah.
Which I'm surprised he didn't just take him to take him. I mean, whatever. I was.
There was no resale outlet.
Yeah, exactly.
You couldn't really flip those. You would
What
have thrown
year
them
did you
over a power
graduate?
line.
01.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we're all 01 kids. How about y'all?
Oh wait.
08.
2010.
Okay. Well, alright.
And y'all are the podcast.
I don't even think I know why I even brought up that question.
Successful business owners, and we have a podcast.
Guys,
but we love
stop.
We have listeners in Ukraine now.
Yeah.
There you go.
They get Mike for that. I'm joking. I'm joking. This guy's legit.
JK.
It could just be Dax's ex-girlfriend.
It could be a troll or like someone a Russian bot.
At this point, I don't care. It's in the analytics. We have a listener.
That's all that matters. Yeah.
So
Analytics are.
I want to circle back. We just released our Halloween episode.
Yeah.
Our very first Spooktacular. So you said you were really drawn to like horror. Like, I'd like to like examine that. Get Out obviously is more recent.
Yeah.
What were you like into like when you were really into that? Besides Steve Urkel?
Right. Anything Freddy. Man, pretty much everything.
Like OG, like Nightmare on Elm Street, though, right?
Yeah.
Not like Freddy
Originals.
versus Jason.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Originals. My parents are hardcore Christians, so they were like, that's the devil stuff. You're not watching that, and I'd go in there in my room, watch it, like,
Our parents were the same, but they're like, we're just gonna put it on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, we grew up Catholic, and it's one of those things where
Oh wow, yeah.
we're everything's the devil, but we're gonna watch it.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
But I cut you off. Sorry.
But yeah, so a lot of Freddy, original, Hellraiser, stuff like that. Like pretty much your extreme.
Yeah.
Candyman was not scary. I don't know why everybody's scared of Candyman. Not scary at all to me.
I
Freddy was
scared
hilarious to
because
me.
like going to I would never say it in the mirror or whatever. Like, no, I'm not doing any of that. I don't need bees in my mouth.
We talked about it, and that's another movie that my cousins would always rent. But
Candyman?
I didn't know what Candyman was, so I'm like, Candyman, what? That can't be bad. Is this like Willy Wonka? Like, and go watch it and be like, oh, this is not Willy Wonka.
No.
He's not that kind of Candyman.
Willy Wonka,
Is
talking
actually
fact,
pretty
is a
frightening.
horror film.
That first one.
I keep telling people it is a horror film.
Well, that scene when they're going through the tunnel.
they're descending into hell.
Just everything about the guy.
Yeah.
Some creepy old guy.
Who brings a bunch of kids to his
Right.
factory, and he wants to
he's
keep one of them.
Right.
killing off kids.
They all die.
Yeah, they
They
die.
walk. Well, in the new one, we see them walking out of the factory.
That's
No,
true.
I'm talking
That's
about
true.
Gene Wilder, like
Yeah.
the whole.
Yeah.
No, I know. In the new
Cutting
one,
the
I think
chicken's
they
head
put
off.
that in purposely to say, yeah, they're gonna.
This is
Well,
not
she
hell.
might pop. No, she did pop in the original one.
She did.
Yes, she did.
And you ate part of her at some point.
Yeah. And it was
Oh my
really
gosh,
weird.
you're right.
Every piece of candy was like life lesson. What a
It was all a
sin.
test,
It was-
yeah.
It was weird. It was a horror film. But man, what else was I into?
They're gonna
Well, the
be a
whole
lot
thing
of
about
people listening
Candyman, I
and
got
they're gonna be like,
bullied,
oh,
so I'm pretty scared of Candyman.
Michael Myers.
Oh, tell us about that. Like, why'd you get? If you don't want
Well, like New Year's, I would go to Taylor, Texas, which is a pretty country town.
Rattlesnake Festival.
I do not know of that, but I went to
Okay.
Taylor. Just my family, my whole family grew up in Texas. I mean, Taylor, Texas. I am a third generation Austinite, but we originated from Taylor. And I used to go every New Year's, and for some reason, we always watched Candyman. And then my cousin, my older cousin, she would lock me in the bathroom and say, Candyman, Candyman. 3 times. And it scared the crap out of me. And then one day, like one year, we watched it again, and The Ring, which when I rewatch The Ring, it's not that scary. But back then, it was really scary.
Yeah.
And then she hung me up on my drawers outside on a tree and screamed, Candyman, Candyman. And like locked me out. So I was outside for a good portion of like 2 hours. So The Ring, Candyman, The Ring 2, they're like, I guess I have post-traumatic stress from them. So
you can't watch Final Destination because Tony Todd is the coroner.
Final Destination was a good movie. I enjoyed it.
I liked it.
I really enjoyed it.
I actually really liked the last one because then they tie it all back.
Wasn't that like
to the first
5
one?
or 6 or
Something like that.
Yeah, like have you
Like to the
guys
plane
seen?
crash?
Yeah, they tie it all back
Yeah.
to the first one, and you're like,
Oh,
holy
Did we
crap!
watch that one?
Yeah.
So,
Well, I did.
so like the last one,
You're
you're
supposed to watch
watching
anything
it.
with me.
Spoiler alert! Sorry for anybody,
Yeah.
but you're watching it, and you don't think of anything because they never really allude to that it's set in an earlier time frame because this
Yeah.
came out like maybe 10 years ago, maybe a little less than that.
It came our senior year.
1999.
No, it was the last Final Destination.
He
Yeah,
watched
it
it
was
without
a
me,
while.
so I don't
Yeah,
know.
so
How
she's
could he?
still angry about it.
Still angry.
But no, don't worry, this guy's still angry at me for seeing Once Upon a Time in Hollywood 2 times without me.
But that was 2 months ago.
Still haven't seen it. Yeah, still haven't seen it.
He'll see it with you, just not with me.
Yeah, is it playing at iPick? We could just run over there after this is
Probably, right?
over. You guys
Yeah.
want to go? You're not invited.
I'm not. You're walking home.
There's a thing called Uber. Thank you very much.
Well, see how useless I am.
No, but yeah. So the last Final Destination, like you're just watching it, and then you get to the end of it, and then it's Devin Sawa, right? Was, getting on the plane and freaking out, and you're like,
wow,
oh, and it's like the main
the
character
commercial.
from the last one
Okay.
is actually on the plane and dies on the plane, and that starts Devin Sawa's little saga, and it's like
everything, like
it's
ridiculous.
It's kind of like the Saw movies where it's like everything's interconnected in the same time frame
Saw was
and
good.
universe. Saw's just gory though. That's
it was pure
torture porn.
gore.
Yeah.
Then there was. Did you guys see Mystery Rooms? It's not the Mystery Room. It was a limited showing in theaters. It was based off of like Mystery Room's concept, but the contestants get locked in, and it's a life or death scenario where you have to figure out the puzzle. They die.
The new one?
Oh, is it the one with the girl from Daredevil, right?
The new one?
Yes,
no,
the new one.
No, Deborah Anwar.
You're talking about
No,
Escape
I
Room.
don't think so.
Oh,
yes,
the
that's it.
redheaded chick
Yeah.
that was also in True Blood.
Yes,
Escape
that is
Room.
her. Yeah, that
Where
one.
it's like the woods, and then like
Yes.
it's just, I wanted to see that one, but
That
my wife was
one-
like, no.
I really
It was
liked
good.
it.
Was it good?
It was good.
I liked
Okay.
it.
It's pretty intense. It was good.
They set it up for a sequel,
Well, I think.
but
They said they try to do that with everything nowadays, right?
yeah.
Well, they try to, and then if that dollar like comes in where it's you know
Yeah.
at a certain point, they're like, okay, we can green light it.
Yeah, basically. But a lot of the sequels never happened.
So what did you think about it? We've seen the
I
second
haven't seen
one.
it yet.
I've seen both.
I haven't
Okay.
seen either one because
What?
it is the movie that scarred me as a
Oh,
child.
okay. Okay.
I was like 5 when that made for TV came on, and my parents just were like, "Yeah, sure, you can watch this." And then I was scared.
And that was definitely scary. I say that's the one scary. I would say that and probably Michael Myers. Only because Michael Myers could be real. Like,
I think it
some
was based
crazy
off of a
guy.
true story in Texas.
It.
No, Michael Myers.
I thought Texas
Chainsaw
Chainsaw Massacre is the
Massacre.
true story.
Even
You're talking about
Or based on true events.
True.
What were we talking about the other day? I forgot what it was. Oh, you're talking about Jason. When we were talking about the Jason story. About this guy like overseas or something like that.
Oh.
it
That
was
was literally killing people in a hockey match.
Oh, yeah, no, I've heard that
something
story.
crazy
yeah.
like that. Yeah.
Freddy was based off like the director based it off a true story that he heard that that little like some little boy couldn't go to sleep because he had night terrors so bad, and then one day he fell asleep and his heart stopped because of the night terror, and so that's where he based it off of. And I think it's also based off like Incubus or Succubus or whatever.
Yeah.
Right. Yes. The band. Brandon Boyd will come visit you at night.
So we were talking about Candyman. Did you guys ever watch Lawnmower Man?
no.
I think I saw that once with my cousins also, but like that's such a random like.
Cousins are probably the worst house to go to during like Halloween
no,
or
absolutely.
Especially if they're older.
exactly.
My cousin was the same age as me, and like we were talking like they make me watch Puppet Master.
Oh.
And like that's pretty creepy as a kid because also growing up in Hispanic culture, like we like every aunt's house you go to has little dolls like that laying around.
Ooh.
So you're like they're gonna come to life and kill me.
At any moment.
Yeah. So
Well, I also had like those dolls like that were like toilet paper holders. Like for some reason that's a Mexican thing.
Ooh.
I don't know
seen
why.
them.
It has like a crochet dress and then you put
It's
your
more
toilet
like
paper
art,
on it.
like creepy art.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
Speaking of creepy art, no. But how did you guys meet? Do you want to like go through that?
Now we get.
He's gonna say he doesn't remember.
He's like she just started showing up. And I was like, all right, I guess.
Well, we've been together for like 9, 8, 10 years.
Well, wait a minute. You just said 9, 8, 10 years.
Because he'll say
It's
he
a
doesn't
Joker.
he doesn't know how long we've been together.
Want to see how I got these scars? Like, when did we meet? You want to hear how we met?
We were friends before like we actually became
yeah, we're really good friends.
a relationship. So that's why it's kind of like
Okay.
a gray area between like when you transition from friends to a relationship.
Yeah.
It's like all right, so
We're
we
in
just set
that
a date.
friend area right now.
We're just holding hands. Right
So we like set a date on Facebook and was like, all right, this is gonna be our anniversary. And then, but my story of how we met is my cousin. She was actually digging him, and there were some DMs happening on MySpace.
Oh,
Wow.
you knew it was serious.
On MySpace, and she was like, "Yeah, I really like him, but he's not hitting me back."
It's like yeah, because you're on MySpace.
And I was like, "Oh, okay. Well, why don't you invite him out? Maybe he doesn't maybe you're not being straightforward with him.
Right.
And then she's like, okay, I'll invite him out and just say, hey, bring his friends, and I'll bring my friends, which is just me.
Yeah.
And we like met downtown on 6th Street.
We can all be friends.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So and we can all be friends.
Deep cut.
And so we started hanging out on 6th Street, randomly seeing each other. And then like one day I walked up to him and I was like, these guys are stupid. And he was like, yeah, they're stupid.
Yeah.
And then from there,
We're really good about having fun, like laughing at everyone else trying so hard.
yeah.
Like, so it was one of those weird areas where you're kind of like looking at each other and it's like,
Yeah, they're weird.
Had a moment.
Wow, they've looked at each other so many times during this podcast.
They have.
That's healthy. That's good.
Yeah, whatever.
And I was like a emo, weird kid with dyed blonde hair and had on skater pants with like a Western vest and.
Wait, that was
black
you?
girls.
that was her.
That's an emo black woman in you. That's
That's
like I was thinking this the other day. That's like the subgenre of like the male pixie dream girl. Cause there's a girls. Never mind.
Well,
Because the time that they posted about me seeing someone else. So like,
Okay.
they're talking about that.
well,
but,
it's like a Mexican with a good credit score. It's just not.
no, but even
it's
like
not
there
gonna-
were Mexican girls we went to school with that were
Yes,
high
you just
school
said that.
that were like emo.
I am Mexican.
They were emo. Oh yes,
That's probably a
emo.
minority
With a
a
terrible
good credit
credit
score.
What do you think I'm doing? Yeah, it's because of kids.
But yeah, he didn't know what I was, and he was
I
trying
know
to.
what she was.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah,
Couldn't figure her out. That was
You
a
knew she was
project.
so
yeah,
black.
something,
Like,
because her hair was like
I straightened it
I
as
seen
well.
the kink, and I was
I was
like, and every weekend we would like go out. She would look different, but the very first time, I think it was the black hair. I think with a color in it, the weird teal skinny jeans, like skater pants, just weird. But it caught my eye because it was
See
like,
how
okay,
he keeps
this is
repeating
someone
weird?
Right.
more
He keeps
unique.
repeating weird.
But
Weird.
But it was
It's
unique.
like
It was she was put together different
Yeah.
than all.
Different is not weird.
It's a
There you go.
compliment, I think.
He's just switched it up. It's a synonym.
But yeah,
But yeah, then he told me like later, oh, I didn't know you spoke English. I said, what? I said, what the hell? Yeah, I thought you spoke like Dutch or something.
yep.
Hurricane.
Yeah, I was like, bro.
What?
I said, I'm
No.
just hanging out with a random black girl, and I'm a black girl. So I would come out of the club, and my hair, like, yeah, I was straight originally, but it would,
Yeah.
that's all, it just poof. And then I was like, at that point, you should have known I was black. Like, come
I mean, I
on.
did at that point. But you never know.
blackish. Like, there,
Yeah,
it's there. I see
there you
it.
go.
I see
Blackish.
You know, Mixed-ish, I'm digging the show. Blackish was cool, and then I'm liking a spin-off of Mixed-ish, but...
Blackish for me got really weird when they started doing like the whole marital. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's real life, but they started doing the marital problems with like Bo and like
Yeah.
and I was just like, but this is supposed to be a sitcom, and you guys are like,
It wasn't needed.
yeah, like
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, I guess.
But I think they're doing the same thing they did like Bill Cosby, not Bill Cosby, with the Family Matters, where they took like a dark turn during that time as well when they were having family issues. I think they're just creating some of that same drama.
Fresh Prince.
Yeah, but like with Blackish, they did like the whole Blue Valentine episode.
Yeah.
where they're, like
Yeah.
mad at each other, and like it was just like,
And it carried on. I think
Yeah,
there
it
was
was
like
like,
4 episodes.
yeah, like you're
Yeah.
just like, oh,
They
man, you
kept
just really
digging it
dragged this
in,
out.
yeah.
But I mean, it's a good show.
Yeah.
Like I liked it. I haven't watched Mixed Dish yet, so.
Yeah, it's a little weird. I mean, like Bo, Bo comes from like she was in a cult.
Well, it's got Mark Paul Gosselaar, right?
I don't know who that is.
He's the dad.
I think
Saved by the
it's-
Bell.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
generationally, they wouldn't know that.
Yeah, they
They
would
wouldn't
have.
know.
Zach Morris.
No, I know what you're talking about now.
Yeah.
It's
Saved by the
trash.
Bell college years, maybe? No, still too early for you? Okay.
Mario
We're
Lopez.
only 2 years apart.
Right,
It was a critical 2 years though.
but it was a big.
Did you
like
see
a
that? Did you
snort-
see that show
snort.
Pitch where the girl Kylie Bunbury was the
Snorts.
female pitcher? It was
No.
on Fox. That was only like a few years ago, but
I didn't watch that one.
It
Was
like
she a
2
black
episodes. How
girl?
long did it
No,
last?
it lasted a whole season.
Yeah,
Oh, really?
But Mark Paul Gosselaar.
He didn't
was on
watch it
he was
either.
he was the coach. Franklin and Bash on TBS. Going through Mark Paul Gosselaar's whole IMDb catalog.
NYPD Blue.
Yes. He was
Is
on
it
that
the
as well.
a-hole
fan
one
here,
who
big
keeps
fan.
making fun of Bo and... Not
He's
Bo.
the dad. He's Bo's dad.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
but because
He's
he's on the
cool.
show,
Is he the
it's-
hippie?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's gonna get canceled after the season. Like,
I, feel
I think so.
unfortunately,
Yeah.
no, it's just his shows last a season.
Yeah.
No, I love.
We gotta see.
Mark
I gotta see if
wanted
you're
to
right
be
on
Zach
that.
Morris.
We'll see. We'll see. But I think
Apparently
mixation
Parker
will
Lewis.
go down.
Parker Lewis can't lose.
Was he in it?
Don't say that. That's way too.
That,
really
yeah,
dangerous.
I barely remember.
That was on USA. That was like the dad ended up being on Son of a Beach. Like it was just really weird.
Let's move it on. We're dating ourselves.
And just like, shh.
Let's just go down like what was City Guys? Did you guys watch City Guys? California Dreams? No,
I did.
no. We all did. Yeah.
Sierra Jamal. It was different.
Really
I remember
weird.
Seabear and Jamal.
Hey dude, Pete and Pete.
Yeah.
Are you afraid of the dark?
Are you afraid of the dark? Yes. And Snip.
No?
Yeah, I'm
Snip?
pretty dark. Yeah.
Yeah. That scared
Well,
me.
you Pinky in the Brain, so obviously you.
Well,
Have
no, that's
some-
forgotten ones. Art like they may not even know who Pinky.
I know who Pinky in the Brain is.
Because
Come
there's a picture
on,
of
no.
them in the shop.
I know who they
Sing the
are.
song
Warner
right now.
Brothers. Pinky in the Brain, brain.
Yeah.
All right, there we go.
Did I do the tone right?
Kind of, yeah.
What are we gonna do tonight, Brain?
The 2.5 years
Men?
is a big.
Oh, okay.
It's not 2.5. It's 2 and 2 months.
It is a big time difference. I tell people that.
It can be.
It was.
Hey, take it
It
from a
was
guy
not.
who's in his mid-30s and then dates girls like in their 20s.
No, that has
Ew.
19s.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna cut that out.
19s.
Timestamp. I'm cutting that out.
Mid to late 20s. No, yeah, it's just so disheartening when you say something and they just look at you with this blank stare of like, huh?
Like, tell me another one, Grandpa.
You're like, yeah, I need to change up my
That's why I
lifestyle.
know the girl I'm dating now, she like at least likes 80s films, so one of
You
her
got something to
favorite
talk
films
about.
is Footloose and like the OG one, not the one with
Wow.
Okay.
whatever the girl is from Dancing with the Stars. Julianne Hough. So yeah, like I can do that. But no, I know. 2 years and 2 months, come on.
But
Right. Thank you.
He's so much more like,
I mean,
culture.
yeah.
He knows so much more.
Right. That's how he is.
I'm an old soul.
So am I.
That's the difference.
So am I.
That's the difference.
I think you both are. Like in all honesty,
Yeah.
this is not a knock on you guys at all. You
No.
You come across a lot more mature than probably
Two guys with just a podcast. No
Stop
store.
it.
No.
than a guy who makes a reference to like a Mexican with a good credit score. Yes, absolutely.
And
Like I
he
said,
is
that-
Mexican, by the way. He
I
is
am
Mexican.
I am
Right.
first generation American. I am so Mexican. I'm wearing a sombrero right now, and I came in
And a serape.
on a burro. So.
saying-
But kind of tying it to like
Oh no, here we go.
We're really laughing. We're laughing like by half as less as you are. Like, you
Right.
can, yeah, you're wrong. So it's
Yeah,
funny.
this-
You're like you're here. We're gonna be just less than that.
But going back to like 80s and 90s culture, like where do you think this kind of resurgence? Because I've seen, like on Netflix, have you seen that show like Slobby's World and stuff like that?
Yeah.
I just am curious, where did that originate?
So
Because I think I missed an entire wave of that.
The guy, I don't mind him, but I actually.
You were talking about
I can't
Slobby.
stand the guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's
Go ahead.
he's pretty funny, but he's such like how do
He's
you
a cartoon.
poser, kind of corny. When I was selling vintage, the dude was like the guy, like say like you go to like a sneaker event or something. He's like the little kid, basically like, oh, my mom gave me all these shoes to sell. It's kind of like he was kind of the guy that like didn't even know what the hell he was doing.
Oh.
He would just dress up in like all MCM or Gucci, and
Yeah.
and he's still doing it. And it's
He-
kind of
yeah.
like, see, he's like a one-trick pony. So now that vintage has come back so hard, now he's, he's such a personality. I think that's the only reason
Right.
he got the show.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's not really vintage guys with a crazy personality.
Yeah.
Even the New York guys like that are like tough into it. They're like the most chill dudes ever. So it's like, how do you give them a show?
Yeah.
So I think that's all it is. But he's
It's just appreciation for stuff that maybe you didn't appreciate when it was around, right?
Yeah.
Like, because I feel like, I think now more so we see people doing this, and some people do it well and they do it their own way. Slobby's one way, like,
Yeah.
and he probably way marks up just because, you
Yeah.
know, the fame off of Netflix and IG and stuff like that. But like I feel like people like in the 80s there were people out there selling stuff from the 70s and the 60s. It just wasn't. Now with social media and everything, you see it's more prevalent.
Yeah.
So then you have more people saying, "Oh, I want that too," or "I want it like that." That's really dope. Like, and then a celebrity does it, and then it's like, "Oh,
Yeah,
okay."
exactly.
So,
Well, I see like half the stuff he sells. I was like, oh, I used to have that. Like I had that snapback, or I had that Tommy shirt, or a jersey, and I still have some of my old jerseys. And to think that I'm never gonna flip them because for me they mean something. Like I actually went to the store, I got them. And so when I see these like people reselling stuff that was part of my childhood, I'm like, whoa! Like I feel like I missed like that wave.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of it too. I mean, I still have my own personal stash, but it's like even with that, and that's kind of my thing with him, Robbie. He's I don't know. I don't really see the passion for it. I see the passion in like the character and like just the reselling of it, but it's like. Because he's super into like all the bootleg stuff.
Yeah.
It's not really so much the true vintage.
Yeah.
With me, I love to see like when we first opened, it was a guy that came in here and I had a whole corner set up and it was all ice bats. Like pristine, dead stock, like ice bats, hockey stuff. He actually came in, he used to play for them. And he said, for the years I played for them, I have nothing to show for it. Like, we didn't get any free gear. Damn. Like, if you did, you basically stole your own like jersey, and he's like, I don't have any of it from those years. And he was doing like some maintenance in the building, and the next day he came in, like we weren't even open yet, and he was like, hey, can I like buy some of this? He ended up buying it all. I mean, like jerseys to hats to pucks. Turns around, brings his like son in here, which they're like super hockey fans. They're buying up anything Dallas Stars,
I totally forgot about the ice bats.
He actually
until you said it,
teared up. The guy was like, man, how did you get this? So then you start realizing, which I did a long time ago, but meeting so many new people and different people, but it reminds you like, wow, like just kind of like what you were saying, like there's attachment here to like a lot of this stuff. So when people see it, it's, man, like it's such a big hit. So.
Yeah. I like the show, like it's entertaining, but like it seems also, and I mean this is all reality shows in general. Like everything seems so staged though. Like it's like he takes his people into the vintage shop and like go find stuff. It's like they went and put it all there.
You're not gonna
like they didn't just find it. Like there's people picking like way earlier than you. You got there at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Right. So it's like it just like it's all set up like just for the spectacle of the show. So.
It's almost like a storage wars or something.
Yeah.
Like, you're not finding, and you could. But you're not just finding.
Not on the day of.
Yeah. Just all
you can't make TV like that. Like if they were just legitimately going to every storage unit they opened, like it'd be like so boring.
Right.
It's like so they take the best stuff and put it in one unit and be like, we found all this stuff. We found $40,000 worth of stuff. It's like, no, you didn't.
No, not at all.
One thing that I do appreciate, what I don't get about like that show, and I hate to keep bringing it up, but that whole bootleg thing. And one thing I appreciate about you is that if someone brings in counterfeit stuff, and I think I read it on the website, you're like, no, I'm going to confiscate it. I'm going to put you on blast, and I dig that because one of the things I've talked about in previous episodes, as a father of 3, I don't have the funds to buy everything like StockX or whatever. Sometimes I go on eBay and I have to rely on the guy saying, hey, these are legit.
Right.
One time I did buy one, they're like Fugazi, but I'm like, whatever. Like they look legit. It's one of those things you just, but I'm like, whatever. But with you, I appreciate that you're just like, no, I'm not even gonna entertain, you even. I'm not even gonna let you leave the store. Like these are gonna be donated, and I appreciate. What was your kind of thought process behind that?
So that was pretty much.
We just don't want to pollute the market. Like, again, that's our name. It's Magic. We don't want someone saying, "Oh yeah, I got these from Magic," and they are bogus, bootleg, blatantly fake. Magic is nothing but realness in here from everything you see.
Genuine,
so we don't want to pollute, and we don't want to give a kid that really cherished these and bought it for the resale value and got a pair of fakes. We're never going to do that to any kid or any person.
It makes y'all look bad as business owners. Like,
but I understand not selling that, but for you to like confiscate it, like
well, that came from just selling for years online. and it was one of those things where it was you dealt with a lot of like younger kids. I used to sell on the street to a lot of young kids. I meet their parents. You kind of see what they're into and what they're going through, and it's like it was kind of that idea of these kids are collecting their, they're saving their money.
Right.
They're saving up $200, $300, and that could have been mowing lawns, doing chores, whatever, and then it's like they get screwed over.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like I was seeing this stuff every day, and people would come up to me and try to give me like a fake pair of shoes or a knockoff like jersey or something. I'm like, come on, dude. And then so opening the store, it became one of those things where a lot of people don't realize that when you open a business, like online was different. Like that was cool. We had great credibility, we still do. But then it's like opening a physical location. It's a big difference when people come around. And it's like everyone wants to like almost like take something from it. And that was one of my biggest things. I'm like, no, you're not gonna leave and put something in here or try to sell me something or bring something in here and it's not real. Right. And it's like we're not gonna be part of that. Yeah. So it was one of those things where keeping it the item, we're gonna create more art out of it. If that's keeping your fake shoe and making a planner out of it, or just kind of exposing you, because again, these same people, they'll go from you right over to the next person. They'll go to another shoe store and say, oh, well, this person told me it was legit.
Right.
I used to see that. People would I would deny people and they would run down the street, not knowing that I know everybody. Oh, hey, this guy's over here trying to sell me this. Like,
yeah, they're just keeping the market pure. Like, if we deny it and they take it, like you said, they're just going to take it down to the next store, or they're going to sell it on the street. Right. And then with confiscating it, it's just, again, you wasted our time. You tried to bamboozle us. So at this point now, either it goes to charity, to someone who actually does need a pair of shoes, or we reuse it for art, which I don't think we've done that with a recent pair of shoes, but we got ideas. Like, we got time to make an example.
But and it goes further into that as well, like community. Like, just even on the giving back part of it, say we do have a few pairs of fake shoes that come in or we keep them, again, letting that get out there and those people keep doing that type of stuff, it's going to change their mindset. Okay, man, they got me. Okay, they're serious about what they're doing. Man, he does know a lot of people. Yeah, they'll sooner or later just stop. You know what I mean? Or at least you hope they go away, which some of them have. We've literally had a situation like that. There's one guy, like a few months ago, was doing that. Going to every sneaker store trying to drop off kicks, and it was like, come on, dude, these are fake. No one was calling him out on it. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, I'll be that guy. Since all of y'all are scared to step up and say something, like, is it that difficult? But
well, it's also the legality of it. Like, it's illegal for him to try to profit on it. So
exactly.
And again, I didn't look at that part where he could be using your name, like, oh, hey, Magic said they were legit.
Right.
And I think that K could also stand for karma and K for community, because like you're trying to. I don't know. I appreciate that. Like, you're not out for the dollar.
Exactly.
I mean, yeah, you're a business, but you don't see people being honest.
Right.
Like a lot of times, and I didn't think of that where if he's not going to try to sell it here, he's going to try to. And that whole thing that one kid that's mowing lawns or painting fence, or me as a father, where I'm like, oh, I got a budget, but I really want these kicks, and I go out and someone sells me some like Fugazi ones, then I'm out that money, and I didn't get what I wanted.
Right.
So,
and that's where
and where can you go
angry
to
comes from too.
Exactly.
Like, if we weren't angry in that situation, to enough anger was there to make change. Oh, it's okay. You can take your shoes back. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Or we'll take them in and resell them.
Yeah.
We're not.
If
solving
we were
anything.
nonchalant, if we did not care, if we did not remain angry, what change would happen?
Yeah.
So that's where, again, anger comes from.
Yeah.
Positivity.
And again, just touch on that. Like, we're not solving anything in the community. We're not changing nothing in the world. And it's, like I said, I always told her for years, like, if we ever open up a store, I'm like, I'm going to try to change either the community, the city that we're in, give these kids and like adults like something to look different at. Yeah. And just like you said, coming in here, I want you to view this as a gallery, not a hangout sneaker spot. Like, it's not a shoe store. It's a little bit of everything. I tell people it's a designer store, it's a gallery. Like, take it for what it is and appreciate it. Yeah. And it's all about giving back. And I tell people pretty much daily that I meet new. If this isn't here one day and it's like, at least you can look back on it and say, okay, they taught me something. I left there with some sort of information to go out there and do something bigger and better in my life. So, and to me, no knock, but I just feel like no one's really doing that.
No.
Like with storefronts and stuff like that. When we do events, we do free events. We don't charge people. You know what I mean? We have food, drinks in here for everyone to enjoy themselves, mingle. Like, we're not, like you said, it's not for the dollar. It's about the value that you put back.
Well, you did your entrepreneur class, yesterday?
We were doing that.
Or when
I
I
saw
saw it.
actually that's 13th.
Oh, okay.
Coming up. So
Okay.
that'll be the 13th. Anyone's invited. So
Well, see, but I like that because it's everything you just said. It's like you're doing it to better the community, like put out that positive vibe. But that all in turn is just gonna come back to you twofold. Right?
Yeah.
You're gonna reap the rewards.
You plug the entrepreneur class again. Just what is it about?
Oh, so yeah. So basically, it's a class, kind of just picking your brain, giving you a few insight of what to do better business-wise, or if you're an entrepreneur, business owner, or kind of like just an independent contractor per se. A few things just to help you stay focused, get to where you need to be, some tools, and then we also have.
Like if you're an artist and you don't know how to price your artwork, we can give you some tips on, okay, how long does it take you to do this? What do you value your time at? XYZ, kind of help you walk you through this process to actually put a value to what you're doing, even when you don't know what that value may be.
When and where is that going to be?
So that'll be here at Magic on November 13th from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m.
Got it. I'm sure information's on your site and everything else.
Yeah, everything will be there. I actually need to update that. So that'll be
Coming soon.
that'll be there. Yeah, but we'll keep posting on Instagram. And everything.
Yeah.
But everyone's invited. We'll have a few snacks, refreshments. Entrepreneurs, business owners. Don't be afraid to come out. Enjoy and get to meet other people, and you never know where those connections can grow from there. So even what you guys are doing, you know what I mean? It's a business, so
Yeah.
We're hoping to.
enjoy it.
We're hoping to. Me too. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
I'm sending you an invoice for all the time I've been putting in.
Y'all got mine already, right?
Yeah, I agree.
What email did you send that to?
No, but one thing I do appreciate about your store is that I'm big into like mom and pop bookstores, and you go in there and you don't know what you're gonna find. And I appreciate that thrill of the hunt where you could come here and be like, oh, you have a Shaquille O'Neal Lakers jersey. Like I didn't even know I was looking for that, but now I want it.
Yeah.
You know,
The
it's,
gold one, not the purple one.
Oh, I know.
yeah.
I did have the gold one. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, those go first. Yeah. White, gold, gone.
Yeah.
It might still be.
Is
in
there
my
a
dad's
hierarchy? I
There is.
So yeah.
Okay.
So colors matter. The silk champion jerseys matter compared to the regular mesh. It's layers to it.
yeah.
Somewhere,
Well, I remember.
there's a shoebox that has the Detroit Pistons red and blue Grant Hill jersey, the Shaquille O'Neal gold and purple. Like, I mean, they're all the champions ones that you bought, like at
Yeah.
Wieners. Yeah. If you deep cut, right? Wieners.
Yeah.
The white 45 Michael Jordan jersey, black 23 Michael Jordan
remember that
jersey. Somewhere there's a shoebox, probably in my dad's attic,
Oh wow.
that has those in there. Because I'm pretty, unless he just gave me a good one, then I'm really bad.
They were size 40,
some.
so
No, they were 44s.
44.
44s,
That's not bad.
28s. If I can find them,
Okay.
I'm reaping the rewards.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I still have
It's
one in the
straight here.
drawer. Like I have my reversible AI one, my Jordan one.
You
I
had the Pistons green and
the green Grant
with the-
Hill.
when they
I
redid
still
the
wear them
logo.
though. Like whenever I go to the beach or because
Yeah.
again, it's I identify with them. I love them. I bought them as a kid. They're
you actually watch those guys play basketball.
Right.
Yeah.
You're not like an 18-year-old that never even saw green.
and I wouldn't
Yeah.
ever sell them. I would. I've thought like for the longest time I had my Jordan jersey like just hung up in my closet, like on not framed but pinned up. Some it's MJ. you know,
It's something
so,
to cherish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to speak on kind of like how you kind of purchase items or what is there a process? Like what does that entail?
So that pretty much came from really like I used to dig a lot. That was really digging for gems. If that was your local thrift store, if that was your Goodwills, Salvation Armies. But then I
Garage
found myself,
sales.
garage sales, different stuff like that. But then it turned into one of those things where it's like time became an issue. Even when I was younger, it was like, man, I could be spending more time doing something with all this vintage stuff, like really selling instead of like digging all the time. So that's when I got into just really like making those connections. And that's when I really took myself seriously on the end of business. You know, and again, that's something I preach. Turn your hobby, whatever you do, into a business some way or another. If you shake someone's hand, always have a plan to give that person, make that person $5 and yourself $5 somewhere in the near future. If you both shared $5 with each other, hey, it's a business. You profited out of it.
Right.
So that was kind of my idea. There was, you know what? From here on out, everybody I meet, anybody I buy from, I want to turn that into a relationship, a business relationship. So it went from there. So I would hunt on eBay, different sites, different stuff. You would always find really unique, kind of like older guys that were like, had like a garage or like a warehouse. And they're like, hey, getting rid of a whole bunch of sports crap that no one's paying attention to. They think, you know, oh, it's junk, or they're going for like the beds and the wooden dressers and crap. And it's like, well, the actual money is, you know, the sports stuff, the framed jerseys, the, who knows, autographed helmets.
Yeah.
And once I started finding those and we would go to them, you found all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Stashed away in a big chest or something, and it's sports stuff.
Yeah.
Signed, autographed,
Shoebox.
whatever it is. Yeah. Shoe boxes with hockey pucks in them that are signed. Collectible cards. So it kind of got from there. So then once you meet those people and say if that guy had passed away, okay, you create a good relationship with that daughter that's running the sale, or, you know. So I went from there, kind of just making those connections, pretty much nationwide. People in Canada, LA, New York, everywhere. So it's at this point where I can literally say, Houston as well. I can say, okay, well, hey, we need a bunch of Mighty Duck stuff in here. You know, I can make a call and it's here. So it's one of those things now, fortunately. But yeah, before it was just really hunting.
A lot of legwork.
Hunting. I'd wake up every day and just hunt. Bid, fight, just dig, like, for whatever it was. So, but yeah.
Now that's even like, for people trying to do it, it's tougher though, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like you have built connections where it's like you don't need to go do that.
Yeah.
People are gonna bring it to you, or you can just make a phone call and get it. But like people, like, you know the days they need to be there. So and they're picking through. It's clean. So then, you know, for somebody that actually is going to try and find like a Lakers jersey that I just want to wear that, you're not gonna find it at Goodwill because somebody's already picked it and brought it, or is selling it on eBay for, you know, way more than you're probably charging in here. And you know, that's just the nature of the way it's kind of evolved and changed. So.
And another thing on that too is, I actually went recently for like the first time in years and went and dug one of our friends, Fonz, and it was,
Shout out to Fonz.
yeah, and it was pretty different. But I haven't found a lot of jerseys that were stained and horrible. But again, self-taught. You teach yourself how to clean these things. You teach yourself how to sew and reconstruct things. So it's like, regardless of what something looks like, how bad it is, I can always find a way to bring it back to life, remix it somehow, and still make, you know, a profit out of it. So
one of those things I've noticed nowadays is those shirts that are cut in half and sewn. So even with like a stained jersey or whatever, like you could put a Damon Stoudemire and a Mookie Blaylock jersey and just, it's a thing. People will pay money. I won't pay money for something like that.
Blaylock.
Yeah, Stoudemire Blaylock.
The best basketball player ever.
And that's one of those things. We had it's a guy that came around, I would say again when we first opened, a younger guy named Noah, and he kind of kickstarted some different frames that he was doing. And he would find vintage shirts that were like destroyed, and he started cutting them and putting them in frames. And like you said, like iconic things that people remember. So we sold quite a few of them.
Like maybe concert shirts or
concert shirts, movies. The recent one was the Kill Bill one we just sold. So he started putting them in frames and like finding just collectible.
Like that Death Wish one?
There you go.
Yeah.
So, and they're t-shirts. Or they're bedspreads with something unique on it, and he's putting them, and he was like, "Oh, this is."
I should have kept my Space Jam
comforter. And he's like, he's like, "Oh, this is dumb. I don't think it's."
Yeah.
And I was like, "No, that's cool. That's something different. It's exciting. Make a business out of it."
I've got some Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles curtains at
Oh,
my dad's
yeah.
house.
Well, and I think
made out of a bedspread.
Yeah, it speaks to like people are like Marco and age, like our age, like mid 30s going to the 40s. I personally am trying to buy some of the stuff that I couldn't buy as a kid, or buying stuff that my parents sold or threw out, and I'm like, oh, I can come in here and you have that Lakers jersey. Well, I need it now because my mom, just said it was just junk or whatever. Or maybe like whoever picked it for you, like maybe I'm buying my own jersey back and I don't even know it, which is crazy.
Yeah. Oh, that's happened. I've bought some of my stuff back before. Yeah. Through kids in town who bought it from me somehow.
I've seen it. I'm like, this looks really familiar. And then you'll turn it around. The one stitch repair that we made.
Or something,
I was like, this is definitely yours.
And it's crazy, so yeah.
Now, speaking to some of your, DIY and stuff like that, one thing that I did like, and you're wearing your own like clothes now. Where was the inspiration to be like, why need to start my line now?
I think that came from really I'm really big on seeing things rise and die. So when the vintage stuff was going out pretty quick, everyone was able to find, like you were saying, people were going in thrift stores. You go in there and it's now 10 kids in there that are 8 years younger than you, 10 years younger than you, and they're in there picking up all the good stuff. And it was like, okay, I know where this is going. Yeah. So it was one of those things of, you know what, people come to me already begging me for every service that there is. Oh, I need pictures done. Oh, I need, can you draw this for me? I need a logo. Oh, I need this. So it was like, let me give them something that they can wear. And that's where my artist mindset kicked in again of drawing, stuff like that. Let me construct a piece and put it on someone, and that can be an everlasting art, like an art piece on them. So kind of like what she was saying in the beginning is creating something and making it wearable.
Outside of that, you complain a lot too, because he's really big. So he used to complain a lot. Like, man, if only I could find a shirt that fit me right here or grip my arm this much more. And I was like, we need to do it ourselves.
Yeah.
So we got a sewing machine. We started learning how to teach ourselves how to sew. We started constructing pieces from Joann's, like with Joann's fabric at that time. Just kind of experimenting with the different types of stretch, 4-way, 2-way, the materials, how they felt. Just learning more about the textiles. And then he was like, all right, I'm doing this. Because I want my neck a certain way. I want length. And then that's when he was like, I'm definitely focusing more on fashion.
Yeah. Especially when it, while I was doing a lot of that, I was also, so there's a process and orders, sitting at home, being creative. And it was like, okay, let me find something that's unique, something kind of different. And I had actually, years ago, I had actually applied and worked at Neiman Marcus. Okay. So I was in the back, more or less like warehouse work, kind of like logistics, stuff like that. And from there I learned, and it was all, again, I always teach myself something. So it was all about, okay, let me get here and learn the business of retail. Even though I've been in retail all my life, but it was like, let me learn the higher end of it, per se. And it was, you started seeing things come in, t-shirts or tops that were literally 2 pieces sewn together for $1,000. And it was like, what makes this item so unique? Right. And it was nothing besides the name on it. So there you felt different fabrics. You felt, okay, how is this constructed? Kind of like she was saying, okay, why are people wearing this? Because it fits this way. Yeah. Well, I can make the same thing for $10. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it was like, so what's making it different? So I just taught myself a lot of that, seeing what people kind of went crazy about. And that was just one of those things where I was like, I'm going to take it serious and really just keep going with it. And so at that point, I really started keeping up with fashion, kind of learning more, the ins and outs, how even Neiman buys brands, stuff like that. So it was one of those unique situations where I took a 9 to 5 to kind of learn. Right.
I like the aspect of keeping your stuff like in limited runs because you see too much stuff of Neiman Marcus, Urban Outfitters,
Yep.
And then it's like everybody has that shirt, you know, and it's like there's a price tag on your stuff, and it may be a little bit more, but it's because you're not gonna walk around and see some dude wearing the same exact shirt you're wearing, and you're putting in the time and effort to create something that's unique and different. And I really like that. Like I was looking at your site earlier today, and it's like all the stuff that I wanted was already sold out. Well, too late to the game.
Like those sock
New
runners.
stuff's coming.
Like I want those sock runners so bad. I think I mentioned it like 2 or 3 times already.
Yeah, I'm tired of hearing it. He'll make them for you if he wants to make them.
I roll over. I'm like sock runners. But no.
We're making a lot of new stuff, so we got some different stuff.
We were cooking in the kitchen right when you guys had arrived. So.
Yeah. No, I think it was Kanye or maybe Virgil was saying like people see a white shirt, but they don't see all the effort. And when you're talking about like the fit, the collar, the sleeve, I'm like, oh, that's real. That me just being on the outside, and I'm like, this is a white shirt. You want how much for it? You're like, no. Like you taking that 9 to 5 to learn. There's all this stuff that you're paying on the back end. And this is not just a white shirt. I created this shirt, and I don't know. It's cool to hear that over and over again, and it makes you appreciate like when you buy something that's not that you made. There's a history, and there's art, and there's that acronym MAGIK. It like kind of ingrained in the DNA of what you're buying. So think.
And it's all about that. We get people that come in and they're like, "Man, I really appreciate that y'all like made a longer shirt." And it's not just a longer shirt. It's slim fit, but it's loose enough. It fits like this. I can't go anywhere and find this. And I'm like, right.
Yeah.
So it was going back to that as well. It's giving something I'm noticing, I'm listening. I'm even listening to myself. And that was kind of like pretty much the really big start of it. What do I like? What would I want to buy? And how can I make it to where it fits everyone kind of like in a cool way?
Yeah. I saw this on this website that I was looking for some T-shirt, and they said like gender neutral shirts. I'm like, does that mean baby doll? Like what? I want to know, is it gonna fit me right? But it's that thing of trying to you find a need, and maybe they're just like people came to them like, I just need a unisex is not. Because I think when you buy like unisex shirt, it's that boxy. Even on me, it just like it doesn't.
We get those for work, and a unisex shirt just means it's gonna fit girls bad.
Yeah, pretty much.
Realistically, it comes in and it's like, all right, well, if you need, like, if you're a girl and you wear a girl small, then you need like an extra small and a unisex shirt. Like, it's just like.
But even then, it's gonna fit like a box.
Basically, unisex shirt is a guy's shirt.
Right.
Yeah, but I would say most of the things in our shop are unisex. I
But
know
it's unisex from the standpoint of that anybody could wear. Like,
Yeah.
Like you have this plaid thing right here.
Yeah.
Guy or girl could wear that.
Exactly.
Like, and it doesn't matter.
And
but
even with the t-shirt being a little bit boxy, if the girl say is a small and the girl
like that's like a baseball jersey right
yes,
there, right?
she could wear that as a dress.
Exactly.
Or with some spandex
Different,
around
but like
or like a belt around it.
But when you see like unisex like canvas t-shirt, it's a men's.
That's
it's
true.
a men's t-shirt.
That's facts. That's facts.
That's just a men's t-shirt.
Or
like,
the collar polos.
Yeah. It's like, okay, well, you just didn't cut the waist in for a girl. It's just a guy's polo. That's it.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, like there's a difference between y'all's unisex because basically it's more gender fluid. Like anybody can wear it. Like that's it. You don't have to be a girl to wear this. You don't have to be a guy to wear this. If you like it and you think it looks good on you, wear it.
Completely agree.
And that's how it should be.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It kind of goes to like our mantra is here is buy stuff that you, and I think it's not our original stance. Just buy what you like. And I think maybe this will dovetail into, unless you got something else, dovetail, and I feel like I'm taking over. Just because it fascinates me. I'm the least creative person, just because I want everything safe. Like
this guy, so self-deprecating.
So
no,
we're doing this show because of you. All right, we'll get into that. He just wants us to toot his horn and make him feel good about it.
No, I'm just saying, like, I went to school to get a career, and it's just, I've always taken the safe route. So when I see people like you, like, living the dream in essence.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that you're not creative. It just means that you've gone a different path, and now you're doing something else. So.
Yeah.
I agree.
But yeah, go ahead.
Keep it up. Just, I guess it dovetails into, like, hypebeast culture. And that's something that, I buy what I want, but then sometimes if I'm not these grandma sweater things are not doing my thing. But
Whoa.
Shots.
like if I want to
I'm leaving now. This show is over.
going on sneakers and like I like those Fear of Gods and.
yeah.
I think I got it wasn't the shoot arounds, it was
You
the other
forgot
ones.
about the prototypes as well.
Well,
And ambushes.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
they're
they're
both-
After, so yeah.
they're both fire.
But he hates my shoes. Let's just make that clear. Your shoes great. My shoes terrible.
Mr. Rogers,
Doo-doo.
like just
Yeah.
no.
Hey, I buy what I want and what I like.
True.
Okay.
True.
But my
it's
money.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
And I was really sad, and I needed something to make me feel better about myself.
Yeah, he has his like my dad didn't hug me enough cart. And
Let's see how many shoes are in that cart right now.
it was 4 the last time we talked
Probably
about
like
it.
7 now. But the good thing is I haven't pulled the trigger. Anyway, hype.
Well, it's coming.
Which
It's
I
coming.
clearly am, apparently.
No. These are not hype beast-ish, but like I said earlier, like I want the Chicago ones that are coming out in February. I'm gonna have no shot if I go through do sneakers or whatever. And maybe that's a bad example because it is such a hot shoe, but it seems like any shoe now that I think we bought like the Giannis, like the freak ones or whatever,
ones, yeah.
like coming to America. We both thought they
I
were.
just like that shit.
No, I like it too, but we thought it was gonna like fly off the shelves, and it kind of sat.
Yeah.
And it's
I think that was more of an indication of mass-produced shoe, though, as
Exactly.
opposed to not like they just didn't do
Yeah.
limited run of it. It was just
yeah, but we didn't know until
Yeah,
after the
yeah.
fact.
They didn't treat it like a LeBron.
yeah.
And I think even when the first LeBron came out, it was kind of one of those same.
Well,
mass
yeah, it was
production
like the
things.
Jordan 1 set.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like nobody bought it in
Oh, yeah.
1985. Like it was just
Yeah.
sat.
And even just what? I say what? 7, 8, maybe 6 years ago, 7 years ago. No one liked Jordan 1s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always loved them, but I remember everybody like around me
That's
like
why
hating
King and I are
ones.
best friends. Because he likes the one too.
I don't not
he's
like
my biggest
the
fan.
one. Like I have 3 pairs of the ones. I don't.
Mids. No, I'm just playing.
One's a mid. One's a mid, but it's a Kilroy one. You know,
Oh,
it
okay,
had
yeah,
the story.
I'm
But
joking.
no, what do you think of that? And I would like to finish my point. Like anytime anything that I think comes out, like I feel like I have to be on the app
Yeah.
because it might sell out. Because I think hype beasts through bots or whatever just gobble everything
yeah.
up.
And it's sad. It's sad. It's really turned into that. It does bother me because it's a lot of times where I like really really dope shoes like the Steve Harringtons, the Quick Strike they did, with like the what is it? It was like the recycled leather
Yeah.
and all that cool stuff. And we had got some of the pairs of them, but it was like everyone bought them
Yeah.
just to flip them to make nothing on them.
Right.
So it was like, and they don't. To me, they don't understand. I love them because of the art. So it was like, what are y'all
Yeah.
doing? And just like you said, every release comes out, they're buying them up just to flip them, and even if they're losing money on them.
Right.
So it's kind of one of those things where it's like, okay, now it's getting reckless.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, you see those pictures on the gram where people are in front of their house and they have like
The-
30 boxes of Travis Scott. Like,
Yeah.
come on. Like, are you really
Some
going
of those are suspect.
yeah.
Well,
How
yeah.
would you define a hype beast for those who are just not aware of that term, right? Like parent rails. I mean, you hear it. I think it is a phrase that's starting to kind of permeate to general culture, mainstream culture, pop culture. But what is a hype beast in your opinion?
In my
Y'all's,
opinion.
let's hear from the queen.
Okay. Yeah. There you
A
go.
hype beast, in my opinion, if he sees that something is wanted, he goes after it. Or if he sees that a certain brand is coming out, Supreme, Babe, automatically he gobbles it up without really knowing the full background. But it's not necessarily a negative connotation. It could be a positive one. Maybe it's one that really enjoys. The other side of the coin is a person that really enjoys pop culture, brands, everything that's presently hot. That could also be considered a hype beast in the positive way. But the negative way is mostly what we've been seeing lately in the market. Is somebody who doesn't really know the background of something, but
Yeah.
still yet buys it and wears it.
I like some Supreme stuff, so like.
I knew he was going to have issue with that when she said that.
No. I'm saying like to your point, like I could be considered a hype beast because I like Supreme, like certain Supreme things, and like I like the Air Jordan like collabs, not the 14s but the 5s
Yeah.
or whatever that came out, And people might call me a hype beast, but I'm like, no. I genuinely like this shoe.
Yeah, but to me, like I said, the positive side, there's a positive side where you just genuinely have love for the culture. Mm-hmm. And then there's a negative side where you have love for the look. Mm-hmm. You don't know the history, you don't know the brand, you don't know why this is what it is. Mm-hmm. I like to know, like, I like to see that you're a hype beast because, again, you have love for the culture. Mm-hmm. Then there's people out there who just buy to flip, and I also consider those people hype beasts. Okay. The people who buy, like the Keith Harringtons, where they had no idea why this was popular. They just saw, all right, man, it's a hype shoe. But they had no idea who Keith Harrington was. Mm-hmm. So to me, like, you're a hype beast in a negative way.
Yeah. Then they in turn also drive down value of stuff. Yeah. Right? Because then it's like you're just gobbling it up just so you can go resell it, and then it's like then everybody's like, nah, I'm not gonna pay
the hoarders.
Then
it plummets.
Yeah. So I mean, I think everybody has their moments where they maybe get a little hype beasty. You know, it's like, okay, well,
I didn't know there was like the positive.
Well, I made that up.
I like that.
I think there is like the people that actually genuinely want it, but then you have also like. Because I agree with you. I think the resellers that are just gobbling stuff up, they're the ultimate hype beast. Because then in turn, they're going and selling it to more hype beasts that don't know the value of the shoe, don't really want it because of anything behind it. It's just like, well, this celebrity wore that shoe, so I want it.
Right.
Or, everybody else thinks it's cool, so I think it's cool. It's like, no, like have your own, mind and like, wear what you think is cool or buy what you like, you know? Like
they could almost be like lemmings to the culture. Mm-hmm. Like they're just following the line.
Exactly.
And just following the line. And wherever they see the line of lemmings going, they'll follow the line of lemmings.
Yeah, like the kids that you see wearing a basketball jersey of a player they don't even know.
Right. Hype beasts. That's the ultimate.
Go to ACL and you see all these basketball jerseys of kids that are like, 18, 19 years old, and it's like, were you even alive when that dude was in the NBA?
Right.
Like,
That's the ultimate definition.
Bugs is?
Okay.
Like,
the ultimate.
Like it's just, come on.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I think, but I do get your point of like how it's not necessarily, it shouldn't always be thought of as a negative thing.
Yeah, because there are some people who just genuinely have a love for the culture, and to me, that's still hype beast. Mm-hmm. If you have a love for it.
I'm a good one.
Yeah,
I'm one of the good ones.
Right now, there's probably like 80% negative right now in the world.
Yeah.
I guess my take from it is a little bit on her end, but I never looked at hype beasts. I don't want to say negative. Well, I have, but I don't want to say yes, it's completely negative. Mm-hmm. But I do say the people that go balls to the wall and they're like just. Even with the IKEA release, so I went and picked up a whole bunch of that stuff, the rugs, the clocks, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Some of it I personally actually wanted.
I like the clock.
Oh yeah, the clock. To me, the best was the clock.
Because it's temporary.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
I totally get that.
That was my favorite piece. So even when I went, it was like the first time we went when they did like the keep off the Persian rug. Mm-hmm. That was pretty dope to me. I'm not at all a fan of Virgil. Like, I don't like Off-White. My whole thing is though, I like some of the stuff he does, but I'm not the biggest fan. I feel like he could do a lot more for the impact that he has. Yeah. It's like, do more. But then again, I see it on the other side of it. It's like, you're not obligated to do more. Right. You worked your way however you did by being friends with Kanye, but it's just one of those things where you could be doing more. Yeah. Especially when people were lining up, like when I went, there's people out there with infants, 7 a.m, man, and it's a line wrapped around IKEA.
40 degrees.
And 20. It was 20 something degrees outside. Yeah. Infants, kids were skipping school. Mm-hmm. Oh, we brought our kids. They're out there celebrating as if it's like good. I'm like, yeah, come on. Like, and I'm literally talking to different people in there. Oh, I'm gonna flip it. I'm just gonna sell it. I'm just gonna flip it. And I'm like, that's okay, I guess, but are you at least getting something else to keep?
Yeah.
Oh, nope. Came from one item, I'm gonna flip it. So it's kind of like one of those situations where it's like, really? Good thing about it is when we went inside, so they gave everyone wristbands. When we got inside, the prices were all double.
Yeah.
So it was double from what they advertised.
Wow.
So like one of the rugs was supposed to be $99. Mm-hmm. It was actually $179.
Yeah.
I think the receipt one. The mirror was advertised as super low. It was 180. Like they just doubled everything.
The toolbox was supposed to be $9.
$9. It was $19.99. So a lot of people were in there freaked out.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh man, like what do I buy?"
Do you think that was part of the?
That was great.
Yeah.
If it was, I give him a nod on that.
Yeah.
Like that was great.
No, that store manager at IKEA's on come up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Since we'll
Mark twice as much.
Yeah.
whoever did it, it was great because, and I feel like that's what needs to happen. A lot of
How
people.
much was the clock? I didn't.
The clock came out to 49,
That's not bad.
but it was advertised as 24.
Okay. I would have bought it at 49.
Oh. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
I bought it at 99.
Sure.
But it's that thing there. But hype beast wise, I think kind of like we were saying about the shoes, it's just buying whatever, or because you see somebody wearing it, it's like they don't appreciate it. I appreciate the art into shoes. I feel like a lot of the collabs these days are very, very, very weak. It's not like it used to be, where it was two brands really coming together and making something crazy. But I guess my solid definition of a hype beast is really just, I feel like, yeah, you can buy what you want, you know, if you can afford it,
Yeah.
you can buy what you want. But it just comes that, I think my word for it is more or less poser. It's
I like that.
it's just, I don't know.
Yeah.
Because hype beast could really be good. Now I see some people that it was a guy I met out there. He had Fear of Gods on. But he knew how to put them together with his outfit. He was actually, you know, enjoying his experience out there.
Yeah.
You know, he was put together well. So it was like, okay, there are hype beasts that are organized and they're adults. They're mature about what they're doing. They just appreciate the art of it.
Yeah. Well, you
So
have
it's
that,
like-
the grandpa?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's that thing. It's can I really hate them for what they're doing?
No.
But on the other end, you got the kids that are skipping school just to flip something.
Just a flip.
So
And for what, like maybe $50, $100? If that, because then
If
you
that.
go on eBay and you'll see like sometimes where I can't get a shoe, I'll go straight to eBay. You see a glut of, hey, or you get the just got 'em screen or the receipt or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all of y'all have this. And I think one of my first experiences where I was just like, I'm just going to wait this out was for the Space Jams. I got locked out of everything. And then I got them for maybe 20 over retail. When that day of, it was like double that. And I was like, no, everybody has it. Like, market indicates that this isn't sustainable.
Yep.
And I waited, I think, maybe 2 or 3 months later, and I paid extra 20. I was like, I'd do that.
Yep.
So, but I like that your take. It could be a positive. Hype beast is maybe like you see the person with the fear of gods. You appreciate it, and yeah, I like the fear of God, so I'm gonna buy them.
Yeah.
And if it happens to be hype beastie, well, okay, but I like them.
Right.
Exactly.
So
I genuinely have love for him.
yeah.
Yeah. He's not, he's not hurting himself. He's not hurting anybody else financially. He's enjoying the art of it, of the clothing, the shoes, mind his own business. So, but I say poser though. I say poser because you had a lot. It's like the guys that put on Bape shirt,
Yeah.
the
Like
Supreme hoodie. That there was a lot of those out there. Like at 7 a.m., you don't have to come
Baked
in
down
every brand, and it was just
your
like,
Red Octobers and
So he saw me in the line. It's
Oh.
embarrassing.
He didn't unzip it because I'm gonna go talk to him on Sunday. So you just saw that face.
Oh, I was out there with a hoodie, like
Yeah.
tied, like
I said, why'd you do that?
bundled outside.
And there were like people looking at him. I was like, you're not being like inconspicuous,
Yeah, like-
you're being conspicuous because
Yeah.
people are like staring at you.
And everyone knew, like, by the time I got inside, because then it got like really hot, and I was like suffocating. I was like, oh man, this hoodie is tight. So I loosened up. They're like, oh, hey, I was gonna come by the store. And I'm like, God. So I'm like, so I was trying to hide.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you have the storefront. So
Yeah, it was one of the things. I'm not a people
He just
person.
knew people were going to board him and talk to him
And it's
and
those,
say, hey man, where you been? I miss you.
Yeah.
Hey
It's-
man.
and it's like I'm here.
Yeah.
It's like come by anytime. Like
Right.
So I
You know where to
doubly
find
thank
me.
you for talking to us.
Yeah.
Seeing that you're not a people person.
Oh no,
we appreciate it.
I hate people.
Yeah,
Like,
No, I get it.
No, I know. I've been catching the stares that you've been giving me the whole time. It's like, when are these guys leaving?
No. If you're cool, you're cool. I just
Yeah.
no. She
He actively avoids people situations. Like, if there's a crowd this way, he's like, all right, we're walking this way. And it's the complete opposite way. And I'm like, okay, I get it. Yeah. We'll literally walk around an extra mile.
And then he was like, what do I want to do for a career? I'm going to have a store where people are going to come and talk to me.
Exactly!
All the time about very interesting things.
But see, this is your domain. Though.
Yeah.
Right. When you come in here, you're comfortable because this is your house.
Yeah.
You know, I get it. Like, I can get that way too sometimes. You know, it's just like big crowds. It's like, I don't want to deal with this.
Yeah, but at least in here, he's talking about what he loves too.
Yeah. And it was definitely a growing experience. It was people would come in here. Like I said, it's people that are coming now, and it's even older, younger, whatever age, color, shape, whatever. And it's like really dope to see how you can influence all those people. Or they're just, you may meet someone that super socially awkward, and they'll come in here and they're sweating and shaking and it's like, man, but you made me feel so good. Yeah. I never have anyone to talk to about whatever, and it's like, yeah, you know, and I think that's cool to kind of do that. So it's been a growing stage for myself as well. But like I said, she knows it, you know.
Speaking on that, have you guys seen Joker?
No, we didn't.
No, still haven't.
We were like, man, the mixed reviews were scaring us, and then I was like,
I want to see it. She was, I think, even from the preview, she was like, man. But I
want to see I don't know what it is, but I want to see a crazed, violent, mad, like crazy Joker. I want to see blood. I feel like it's more of like a dancing, I'm emotional Joker, and I was like, I don't want to be there for that.
She wants
you get half, maybe like you'll get maybe a third of what you want. The first 2/3 is
a quarter of what you want.
You're learning.
Yeah, we'll let you see it. Just
we'll let you know.
Don't listen to episode 3.
She wants the what was the latest movie? She wants the animated joke. She wants that.
Oh, the Killing Joke.
Yeah, the Killing Joke. Yeah.
I want a serious Joker. I don't want to feel sorry for the Joker. I don't want to. Yeah. I don't want the POV to change. I don't want to see him as a different person. I I understand that in a way they may have presented him in a different light. I respect that, but I don't care.
Well, it's like that
You're
thing.
a fan of sexy punk rock Joker, then.
I can dig that.
Squad.
Yeah, I can dig it.
You actually like Jared Leto. Huh?
I did. Actually, I did. I wish we would have saw more of him.
Yeah, we didn't get to see all
and explain more of his Joker's background and the version, the why he was that way. I would have enjoyed that. I don't want to. I'm fine. Like, I know Joker in a way is probably doing good for the city. I understand that Batman's family may have not been doing that well to the city. Right. I just don't care. Yeah. So that's my point. Like, I love it, but I feel like it could have been a series of maybe like of them going back and forth. I feel like a lot of movies could have been series.
A more mature series versus Gotham.
Versus a movie where, I feel bad for the Joker. That's all I get. I don't want to feel bad for the Joker. I want to see him. I want to see his background. I want to see him, how he grew. Yes, I feel bad for him for a split second, and he's evil. Yeah. I'd rather see that.
Well, we were talking about that because we reviewed it in one of our episodes, and it's all that hashtag sad boy where every villain, like, he just didn't get hugged.
Right! Like, I don't care.
Like Darth Vader, like that's how all that started, and it takes away that mystique of like, no, you were a cold-blooded killer.
Yes.
Oh yeah, they crapped all over Darth Vader with the prequels, like
right.
Completely.
And you're just a sad boy, like no,
sad temper tantrum boy.
Yeah,
that's all.
And I think that just comes from my idea that we're in a coddled, sensitive society, and I don't want to participate in that part of what's happening today. Like, I don't care. We all go through stuff. Let's move on. If you're evil, be evil. Like, I want to see it committed. Like, come on. And so that's why I don't care. That's why I didn't want to see it. But I will see it because I need to know what happens if they make more. So
it's about to break $1 billion, which is insane.
Yeah. See, I don't want to contribute to that. I really don't. But I will.
No. There's certain. We were talking about it. Like, there's certain movies where I don't want to see it because, like, it promotes like some certain message. I'm like, I don't want to get behind. I want to see the movie, but I don't want to give them money and kind of validate that message.
That I care about more of those movies. Right. Like, I don't want to see more villains turn softies or like punks. Like, I don't care. I want blood, gore, and I don't want more villains or heroes turning into comedy characters. Like with Marvel, like stop giving me comedy. Like give me
Thor, that was
yeah.
Ragnarok.
No,
was,
every hero is now Robert Downey Jr.
Yes.
Every movie has an
Stop
Iron
giving
Man.
me the same
Even,
character.
Venom was like, I saw a little bit of
Because
Venom.
it sells. They know it sells.
and it was like
Venom
Venom supposed to be Venom.
No,
Yeah,
like,
it was joking, like making jokes. Like, it was like a buddy cop or a deal in one
literally.
body.
Yeah.
Yep.
Venom, I loved
It
it,
was
for
fun.
the
It
action
was.
and
Tim
the
Hardy's
fun
funny.
part of
Oh,
it.
Tars, yeah.
But like the storytelling, boo boo. Like straight boo boo.
Yeah, we got to the
it
end.
wasn't-
I did feel buddy cop situation.
Yeah.
The way like a lot of them probably gonna kill
Buddy
someone.
cop with a
It's like,
schizophrenic guy.
A joke.
but once if they make a sequel, I watched it on the airplane, the flight home. But Woody Harrelson was Carnage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think Woody Harrelson's maybe a hot take. I don't know. I think
They are making
he's lining up to be like the Bill Murray of like of our
Yeah.
generation. Bill, remember, when the mantle gets passed, like he's gonna be that guy.
That's true.
Especially with Zombieland too.
Zombie, because he's range, and then he's
Yeah.
eccentric. He's eccentric already, but you can only handle one of those kind of guys at once.
I
But
would've
he has
definitely-
a Natural Born Killers
Yeah, I mean, his range.
in his oeuvre where he can play like Carnage, but
Yeah.
he's
Touche.
probably not.
And I really
Touche.
enjoyed him in
But-
True Detective.
Yeah, he was great.
Yeah.
He was
That
like-
was really good.
What was the movie is when Kevin Costner, like they were hunting Bonnie and Clyde,
It was.
but same kind of Texan
Yeah.
characters. That like,
Was that the one that was on Netflix?
yeah, I think so. But the same kind of true. I mean, it was just he has a great range.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
remember
But he
it,
plays
yeah.
crazy as well as funny. There's only certain actors who have that kind of range.
I think I did definitely.
We
want
believe
it.
it. Too.
I really wish Jim Carrey wasn't like as woke as he is now, because he was supposed to be the original
Thank
Carnage.
Oh,
Ooh.
That would've been-
So think of an older Jim Carrey, younger,
yeah.
when he was the fun, crazy, eccentric Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
He was supposed to play
Bar
Carnage.
Marshall Bill.
Well, that's a
Yeah.
he's a
Let
great
me show you
actor,
something.
but the problem that he fell into is nobody wanted to see him be a
Yeah.
great actor. They
Yeah.
wanted to see him bend over and talk with his butt cheeks.
Basically.
Yeah.
But
Same
he-
thing with Adam Sandler. Adam Sandler tries to do other things, and then
Yeah.
people don't like it. They're like,
Yeah.
yeah.
But he is that.
We
he
want you to
has
be
that 10
silly.
episode studio deal, so he's getting paid no matter what.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not like I think Jim Carrey is like a way better actor than like Adam Sandler. Like I think Adam Sandler's good in his own right, but Jim Carrey's got range. Like
Yeah.
to where
Yeah,
it's like
the Majestic,
Yeah.
the Truman,
Truman
Show.
Show's amazing.
That's
Well,
one of my
they're gonna-
favorite
I think the industry is going to let so many comedians or people like that kind of cross over, right? To be that kind of person. Because Bill Murray, he
it
started
all
off
comes
full
from
comedies, and then wasn't he dramas in the 80s? I mean, he had his kind of shift was a Lost in Translation.
No, that wasn't his shit.
What do
but
you
like
think
that
it
was kind of more of a for Bill Murray. That was like a reinvigoration of his career. Like Lost in Translation put him.
I
put him
think
out
when
there.
when that one company,
Truthfully,
the Chive,
Groundhog Day
took him on.
is a great example of Bill Murray like having that range, though. Sorry, go
You
ahead.
said Chive, yeah.
yeah, Chive like made him like their mascot, and then he did Zombie. I think Zombieland is the one where it made him that ubiquitous kind of like, oh, it's Bill
Bill-
effing Murray.
yeah.
Like, okay, he's a great actor. Don't get me wrong, but now he became a figurehead for maybe
A
hype
reference?
beast millennials.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Very, yeah, I think it's very true.
So, I don't know. Speaking to you, I want them to make a hard R continuation to the Home Alone saga. Where Macaulay Culkin just takes him out, like they kill his mom, and he's like, F that, like wet bandits.
He's
and,
really
like,
passionate about this.
yeah,
Where he takes self-defense into the highest tier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Like in
what-
his domain.
where that iron to the face really will kill him, or maybe he like irons his face. I don't know. So,
Yeah.
I don't know. We're getting kind of
That'd be
standing
freaking
ground
dope.
territory now, and like the Castle Doctor and stuff, where it's like times have changed. It's like
Yeah.
I won't say casting, but they have their home invaders. Make sure it's because it's just we're
Well,
in
it's like
an era.
if they made Home Alone.
It's not women's school anymore. That kind of stuff is like you can never really watch.
yeah.
Yeah.
They made that Home Alone now, like the original one with Macaulay Culkin and Daniel Stern and Joe Pesci. It's like Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern in this day and age would turn around and sue him for all the emotional
Right.
pain that he caused
Yep.
them while they were breaking.
Yeah.
Or
away.
just killing stuff from the event,
Yeah.
True.
or wherever, what have you.
No.
Maybe
But,
flip it. Maybe make this time it's like Lil Jamal's Home Alone. yeah. And hilarity ensues. It's just like, oh, you think this is whimsical? No, this is whimsical, guys. Like, not gonna claw him around. Mom, come here. Yeah.
Well, and that's also what it too kind of felt like.
Yeah.
We both kind of left a little disappointed, looking at each other like.
Don't say too much.
Oh, it's fine.
Well,
I'll see it in like 20 years when I've gotten
They killed
past
him
it.
with the Care Bear stare.
It was
like, let's be real.
It was good for what it was, like to finish it. Like it was a movie.
Yeah.
Great. But it was like
That's always a great ringing endorsement. It was a movie.
it was a movie.
Yeah,
Like,
I've said that before.
it was a
like,
sequel. Okay,
yeah.
you actually finished it. It wasn't like delayed or but it was. I don't know. It was like
Let's
this
all
wasn't
hold
it.
hands and
This wasn't
recognize
it.
each other's differences.
It was too political. It was like
I feel everything is that now.
Oh no, absolutely.
It took away from the originality of it. Just again, we wanted that hardcore, like
It's a killer clown from
Yeah,
space.
Right, dude. Like,
come on.
I understand we had to put certain messaging in there, probably for certain funding or
Right.
for certain audiences
The
to come and
Chinese.
go.
Like everything has about China now for
Right.
maybe
But-
we
Maybe
will
a sponsor one day.
Yeah.
The government right now.
But I just, in a horror movie about it, I felt like that was a corny way to go out. And that's not why I was there. And it really just took away from the whole series. Like, I will never rewatch it again.
Like the opening scene alone was just to me it was pointless.
Oh,
Hey.
where they beat up the guy?
It was
Yeah.
I get the homophobic like
Yeah, close your ears.
It's
the
not.
homophobic situation.
Yeah.
That was I get it. The,
Yeah.
the inclusion of it. But
It was in
like,
the book, so
Yeah. But if you're gonna add it, make a point out of it.
Okay.
It was kind of like after it all happened,
this is wrong. Like, yeah,
he's standing by the lake.
yeah.
It was like, what was the point of this? Like,
Was that true?
what was the point of
I feel
it?
like
acting
they're
on
watering it down really for me, and then I'm gonna go watch it because I'm like, oh, it can't be that bad. They made it, and then I'm just gonna come in here the next
No,
time.
it's
No,
you.
I hate you both. No,
No,
that
it's
old
you.
lady scene.
Ooh.
What was the
The
like?
trailer? That was the one that had
It
the
gets
trailer with
worse.
I
It gets
saw-
worse.
that was-
That's
Oh, it's
the only
worse.
part that scared me.
It was that was definitely jumpy.
Yeah.
It was
the tension of it. Just like,
it was worse than what it was. Like,
yeah.
And it was an actual. I read it was. She was actually naked in the background.
Was she?
Like,
Oh, wow.
yeah, she's like, oh, I've been an actress all these years, and this is the first time someone wanted to be naked. She was actually naked in the background.
yeah,
So-
live your life, lady.
So she went full throttle.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I probably would have been really scared. If I was shooting that.
she was dancing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
That scene, like, there were the moments where you could see, okay, yeah, Stephen King had a heavy hand in
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
screenwriting and this set.
Kind of like the.
And then there were other hands where you're like, okay, yeah, this is for the money.
Yeah.
It was pretty
Yeah,
obvious.
because I feel like the first one, he had a lot more control in. I feel like this one was a super step back.
Yeah.
And he let somebody else take control of it.
When they made the first one, did they always intend to do the second one?
I think
I think
it was
so, yeah.
like if it made
I
enough
just didn't
money.
know. Yeah, I didn't know if
I
it
don't
was.
know.
I didn't know if they made the first one and they're like, oh, okay, it was successful, so let's go ahead and make a
They
sequel.
probably
and
didn't,
that's when
honestly.
Yeah.
I don't think they did. We're expecting.
Because I noticed too with the second one, it was a lot of promotion. The first one, it wasn't any at all. Mm-hmm. I feel like the second one, every second you turned around, it was it too,
Yeah,
it
that's
too, it
true.
too.
That's
One
true.
thing, because the made-for-TV movie left kind of like a bad taste in people's mouths, especially the second part. So they said, and I think it's like with everything, like, oh, we're gonna leave that window open until the box office receipts come in. Then, oh, there's a sequel all along. Like, so, I think I don't know if this was Dax. We have a friend in the industry that said this. Like, whenever they turn in a script, they'll read it over and they're like, okay, where's the diversity?
Yeah.
Or where's the inclusion?
Yeah.
Not looking at like, hey, I wrote this badass story that can be anybody.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to, but going to it nowadays it has to like
Right.
check all these marks, and sometimes it helps a project, sometimes it doesn't.
Right.
But I just feel like it's a horror film. Like let
Yeah.
it be a horror film. everything's not beautiful, perfect.
Yeah,
in a horror film.
it's
Yeah,
pretty
that's what
bad
horror
when you're
is.
like saying, "Oh, we have to do this for like a horror." It's a horror film.
Right.
Like
Not
it doesn't have to
If
be
you're
a
gonna do it,
political
if
message.
you're gonna write kind of inclusion in, like do it well, right?
Right.
And that
Right.
goes like,
Don't ham-fist
well,
it.
a lot of the writers.
That's
are
exactly
just-
how I
they don't really
felt.
have like,
Yeah.
okay, we either put in a black guy or a black girl, okay, or a
Right.
Latina or Latinx, cool, whatever, put them in there. They don't think about, okay, how did this make sense? Like, why would this black guy or black girl be there?
And
Right.
they
Oh, they're the
mentioned
best friend of so and so.
Yeah.
Where they how they meet?
Right.
Private school in Connecticut. Where do they go? You know.
Right.
Well, even touching on that, I didn't like the whole mom and dad crackhead thing of the house burning down.
Right.
It was like
This isn't it. I didn't see
This
it.
isn't-
I haven't seen
we
it.
didn't get that.
Too much information.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Too much information.
We didn't get that in the first one.
Yeah.
You didn't learn, so it was a lot of these made up stories and situations to like
Yeah.
inclusion, like.
Yeah.
But it was like, why was
When
the
you're
people of
forcing
color
it, though, right?
used
Yeah.
the worst?
The
Like,
crack
of course,
fire.
then that character just in turn becomes the token whatever they are.
Right.
Yeah.
The token gay person, the token black
We've
person,
talked
the
about it
token
before
Mexican
where
They were all rooting for the like this black person. They're like, oh man, how? Let's see, glass scene. Is he gonna make it? They gonna
Yeah.
make it? There's been a few. What's the last movie? Besides Get Out. I think. Wait. Was it? I know what you did last summer.
LL Cool J makes it all the way to the end of that
Deep
one.
Blue Sea.
I know what you
was
did last
Ice
summer.
Cube?
No, that was no. Because Brandy and
What
Brandy
you
and
did last summer didn't have any black.
No,
people.
part two did.
Yeah, Brandy and
Part two,
and,
Brandy and the guy, but they both.
But part two,
Part
two because they were like, well, there was none in the first one, so we had
Nope. It's like
the entire town was white. And
Yeah.
I know what
Well, it's
you're
just
And
like
Maine.
Friends when they add Aisha Tyler. They're like, well, we got a black guy, a
Yeah.
black person
Yeah.
now, and then like they have to. No, and we talked about it before, where when they add a Hispanic person, it's always Pepe or Pancho, or they do it so
Yeah.
bad. And I'm like, you know what? If you're gonna do that, don't.
You're right.
Just don't.
Yeah.
Rather
Write
not.
what you know, and if you happen to be a person of color, write what you know.
Right.
Yeah,
And
to me, I feel like when they include like a Hispanic person, it's either the Hispanic or it's
Right.
like, or they double down on the Latin, right?
Right.
It can't just be like, just like Spanglish, kind of the middle, this and that. It's
Yeah.
like,
Well,
no,
it's
no,
when they
no.
have to call attention to it, right? Like
Right.
they're having to say, "Oh, this person's like, I don't know." Do you guys watch Schitt's Creek at all? So Schitt's Creek is a comedy sitcom. Like it's by Daniel Levy, who's Eugene Levy's son. Eugene Levy was the dad in American Pie.
Kim's dead.
It's Catherine
Yeah.
O'Hara. Like it's it's actually a really funny show. But like the thing I like about that, Daniel Levy's gay in real life, and the thing about it is like he writes it from like they moved to this small town because the family lost all their money, but they never call attention to the fact that he's gay. Like the town doesn't like they're not like, oh, you're gay. They're not shocked by it. Like it's just.
Normal.
It's just who he is.
Right.
He's just a person living his life, and it's not a big deal. He's got a relationship. The family doesn't like it's. There's no like big moment. It's just that's just it. And that's how the movie like movies shouldn't feel forced. Where it's
That's
like,
how it
well,
should, yeah.
I
I
put you
so
in this
agree.
movie because you're a black guy, and like I want like we have to call attention to it. Make sure everybody
Right.
knows that. It's like no, it's just life. Just living.
And so it's a lot of that. It's like I said, the opening scene.
yeah,
Like, how did that relate to the rest of the story?
yeah.
Like we found out who was.
Right, because those two kids, when it comes into when you're taking, yes, I understand it may have been in a book, but when you're taking things from book to movies, a lot of things get cut all the time for either time or if it actually has a part with progressing the storyline.
Right.
And that, it didn't. Those
made
characters,
any
we
sense.
didn't really... There was no reason why we cared or should have cared about those characters other
Right.
than the fact that, oh, it's back.
It's back. Yeah.
It's back.
Yeah.
That's
They
the only
eat-
thing
they
we
eat the
found.
guy, Yeah.
But
And-
what was it? What brought him back? What was the point of the scene? Like, because it was really forced and like really bad.
Yeah.
It was disturbing, but it was like
Yeah,
it's
it was
real life.
disturbing. It was
It
disturbing.
is.
But at the same time, it's
It's like if you're gonna bring it up, make it narratively make sense.
Yes.
Or progress the story and.
Yes.
it should have been one of the main characters. Like
Or like a
something-
relative, like a relation or
Yeah.
somebody
brother,
to...
or a lot of people were kind of, I think, after the fact, saying like, "Oh, these were disciples of it," like, because I think
like
one
the
of the
evil.
yeah, like one of the kids that washed up, because I think that one of the actresses that was in that gang, she was in part 1, but as a girl, and in this part she was a boy. So they're saying like, "Oh, it's a twisted." I think it's just that like, "Oh, now we have to make it fit somehow." So
Yeah.
I don't know. That's apocryphal, and I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
By chance, have you watched? What is the show? I'm tripping. Castle Rock.
Ooh.
I haven't.
You guys
I
got
watched
First
the
season,
first
second
episode.
season.
I watched like the first episode and I just
I heard
never
it's not good.
got into it.
You didn't watch?
it's
Really?
I just heard it's not good.
Oh,
it's good.
I will
enjoyed
watch it though.
How
We
many
enjoyed
seasons
it.
is it?
It's
second
we're
one
on the
just
second
started.
one now.
So second season just started.
And it's just like
It's
I
on
think
Hulu,
3
right?
episodes in.
I'm a King fan. Like,
It's good.
Because you have the theory that the Castle Rock is in relation to every movie that releases about Stephen King. There's something Easter eggy going on between Castle
I thought
Rock
that's proven.
and the
Yeah.
movies.
Yeah.
Okay.
what's the
But
beam?
now it's Doctor Sleep, so I'm really excited about
I want to see
season
that.
see
2
that.
in Doctor Sleep. So we're really excited.
At the end of the first season, you'll see how this plays into what is it called? Not portals, but a
Dimensions.
universe.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
okay.
it's a universe of Stephen King characters, creatures, whatever it is. So even in the first season,
Skarsgård's in it.
Skarsgård,
Like,
yeah, he's
Pennywise.
in it.
Yeah.
He's in it, and then you're trying to figure out, you know, he ends up under the jail or whatever. Like, who is this guy? You'll put it together.
I'll watch it.
I'll watch
I'll give
it.
a watch.
Like,
It's good. It starts off a little slow, but then it gets intense. It's very like, it's gruesome. It's good.
I got thrown off because I watched The Mist, the TV series,
Oh.
and I was like, that was bad.
That
So
was
I'm like,
trash. That
so-
was.
We really did try to watch that too, like a couple years after it had aired, and we're like, ugh.
Yeah.
It was bad.
So.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen the movie.
The movie's good, and that's why I watched the TV show. But I think of the TV, where the movie's like, oh, we cut a hole in another dimension.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the TV show was like, well, these are demons, or I don't even
Yeah, I don't
know.
know.
Like, so I don't know.
They'll
What
see
about the
that.
bootleg version, The Fog?
The Fog.
Is that any good?
Oh, that was so stupid. Did you see the end?
I didn't
Wait,
see
oh,
it.
you-
I didn't see it. Like
One
I
more
just,
second.
I remember the mist came out. The mist came out,
Yeah.
and then it was like, then the fog, and it was like, what? the...
And I was gonna put out Drizzle, but you know.
the drizzle.
You don't think of The
The
Purge?
sleep.
The Purge? The Purge movies? Is the Purge?
Yeah,
like the
I saw
first
the
one.
first one.
Yeah,
So-
first, yeah.
And I
mean,
even like the
The Punisher version of
Oh
it.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, like, it's an interesting thing because you've watched. There's been like I think 4 of them now. Yeah, they get,
Purge Anarchy,
the last
Purge
one.
Election Day.
The last one was the first Purge, but like you go deeper into it, and it gives you a kind of fuller sense of the universe this happens in, right? And talks about the politics behind it. And it's one of those things where I mean, there's certain movies I can't watch like in a theater with people because and that's one of them, right? And sometimes halfway I feel uncomfortable watching it because it's just more so in the era right now. I'm like, we seem kind of close to doing that already.
Yeah.
The whole premise of these movies is they're not so far. Like it's a.
We're just
alternate-
one day away from our current president saying, yeah,
Literally.
we're going to do
That was
this.
good to me. Or we're going from a surge to a purge. Oh, yeah, I meant surge.
Surge.
I mean, it was Gandhi Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There-
But
I mean, there's a TV show. The Purge.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But it goes deeper into the culture, right? Because it's like the same stuff happening in one night a year. For those who know, it's just a show where alternate reality, it's America, everything's more or less the same, except one night a year. Any crime is legal, right? And the whole idea is you're supposed to have this catharsis, being able to release all your anger and hate in one time and makes the nation more prosperous. But it's artificial because you're basically paying more. I mean, everyone's focused on spending money for defense, which means
Yeah.
insurance goes up, defending your storefront, getting
Right.
guns and everything else. And anyway, it comes to find out the government, most people aren't doing it because it's a human nature thing. And the government's actually putting out like kill squads to make the numbers high,
Yeah.
so they can report great numbers for purge and everything else. It gets deeper than that in the last few
didn't see all that.
series, and basically they're targeting like the poor,
Yeah.
people of color to make just clear them out.
Basically.
And that's what's literally happening.
Yeah. So it kind of flips to be more revolutionary, right? Because it shows more people who are like rebelling against this,
Yeah.
right? Kind of fighting back.
That would make a lot more sense because
And actually, the dude, who was the
Rio?
dude from The Wire?
Which guy from where?
The guy who robs drug dealers. Marlo.
Oh,
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
He's been in a lot of movies lately too.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah,
What's
yeah.
his
The
name?
guy with the
Why?
scar or the eye?
Yeah, the scar.
You're talking about
Omar?
Omar. It's
Ah.
Omar.
Hey,
Is it
Omar's
Omar?
coming. No, Omar.
Michael.
Well, Omar's the
Okay,
character. in the
Anyway, he's
show.
one of the guys in Rebellion. Yeah,
I'm IMDb.
Yeah. Anyways, it's an interesting series, but in any other era, like, okay, that's totally it never would happen. Like this seems more so when you combine the politics of it too and why they did it. Like we don't it's that far away. Really.
Omar Little?
Yeah. He's like, who is afraid? Big bad wolf. Like, oh, Omar's coming. Anyway, detract.
No, but yeah.
Tangents all day long.
Yeah, we're all about tangents. We're about $1.50 in. I have exhausted all my questions.
So now we're gonna spend an hour talking about wrestling. So
you can exit the room.
If we need to, like my
no
laptop's about to die, so we need to.
The goal before you watch Castle Rock, you have to watch wrestling and catch up on the entire history.
I really
You do.
would prefer not.
You gotta subscribe for only $9.99.
He told me about it.
There you go.
He told me about it.
The plug.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, like I think your computer's gonna die, but we've got a lot of content. Like honestly, if you guys are cool, we'd love to talk to you guys some more, maybe in the future.
Yeah.
We didn't even talk about you beating girls up.
Hey,
for
there's
fun.
always next time.
I can pause it. I just need an extension cord.
Yeah.
Just put it out there.
We could save for more content for another
Okay.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thoroughly. And honestly, I have to use the restroom at this point.
All right. I wore a diaper, but I'm
committed.
Okay,
professional.
last note. I promise this is the last thing.
No.
COD. Modern Warfare.
Oh, Call of Duty.
Yes. Do you guys play?
What do you? Well, I haven't played Call of Duty in a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
are you-
All
you're
right.
on Xbox,
We can
right?
end it.
I saw that you
Yeah.
on your stories.
Yeah. No.
You've been posting that?
I have.
Have you not been looking at her feed? Like that's.
He doesn't care about me. He
I
mutes
haven't
me.
been on my phone, so it's like,
You realize the shop feed is nothing but Call of Duty now as well.
are you serious?
No, I'm joking. I got so mad for a second. You were about to be fired.
Just today, I was like, because you were like, oh, I'm taking care of weeds or cutting down weeds or something like that.
Basically, I'm mowing. That's
Yeah.
what I was doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge
Just taking care of the
gamer.
lawn.
Yeah.
She's competitive.
Not talking noise a lot, but
You're just on Xbox, huh? That's
yeah,
fine.
just on Xbox. Maybe soon we'll be making a transition to PC, but for now we've been from Nintendo to PC, PlayStation, and then we moved to Xbox. Hopefully one day PC. But
You gonna build your own PC?
yeah, I mean it's the best way to do it.
Yeah.
Cheap. You get to pick your own parts, your own gears.
Absolutely. We're sorry we let you down there. I'll try to become a COD.
Just hop on it. Just see. What's
At
up.
first she said COD and I was like, cash on delivery?
I was like,
I paying you guys for
I'll
this?
put the down payment on the shoes. Like, it's okay. No.
COD.
No, last game I played was like Left Behind. Like, I'm not a huge gamer.
That was. Is that
That's a good one.
Yeah, I mean,
I love that game.
Last game I played was Yoshi's Island.
Oh, jeez.
No, I'm joking.
Dr. Mario?
Red Dead Redemption, the
okay.
last one was the one that I
That was
I
fun.
remember that.
It was fun.
It just sucked when people ganged up on you.
Oh.
I
When
really
they
like
camped
Old
out
West.
the towns.
Was that the one where you just like took care of horses like half the
Basically.
Yeah,
Like
you
that?
just
You just
brushing them
petted
off.
it.
You literally
fed
like
it.
walk up to your horse
Yeah.
to like give him health, like you just pet him.
Yeah, you
and
want-
feed him apples.
You had a
could just the
bonding
whole day.
meter
Yeah.
and everything. So me and my horse actually really bonded to the highest level. And until you got shot, and
It's good to know.
I didn't have horse insurance.
It teaches you a lot. Horse insurance.
No, but sincerely, we appreciate you
Yes.
guys
Yeah.
opening up your shop to us, letting us come
Thank
in and
y'all.
record.
Thank y'all.
And we'd love to talk to you guys some more. So hopefully, if you don't have a bad taste in your mouth now after this one,
Yeah.
you know,
And brushing my
all
teeth
right, I
immediately
guess if it's
afterward.
in comments, guys can come back. But yeah, no, this has been awesome.
Yeah.
A blast, and thank you so much. Again, if you want to plug the shop real quick and
Yeah,
address,
please.
Okay. So yeah, find us over at 3220 Feathergrass Court, Suite 132 in the Domain, Austin, Texas. Our social handles are Magic Supply. That's MAGIK Supply, and then also MagicSupply.com is our website.
absolutely.
Excellent. All right, sorry about that. We had a little technical difficulty, but you were shouting out your shop. You want to just, in case we missed it?
Yeah. Definitely find us at Magic Supply. That's Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. The website is magicsupply.com. That's
With a K.
With a K.
With the K.
MAGIK.
Yep, and over in the Domain for you Austinites, so you guys know where they're at. Right next to the iPick Theater. So
Yeah.
you know the Domain. Come by and see them. Great shop. Again, sincerely appreciate you guys having us in.
You want to
Thank
shout
you,
out
guys.
your COD handle?
You don't have to. We let you down.
Well, I think you can find my Xbox player tag, which is Dyna Magik with a K.
with a K.
Yeah.
All right. DYNA.
Yes.
DYNAMAGIK.
Correct.
For Xbox, please somebody play Call of Duty with her. She's mad at us right now.
Our inability to do so.
Come on, man.
We're
Come
old
on.
millennials that have not caught on that train. But as always for us, you can email us at atexkicksandcomics@gmail.com if you want to drop us a line and tell us we suck. We sincerely appreciate that. And you can follow us on IG as well, at Kicks and Comics. And definitely give these guys a follow.
Yes.
You know, you can also find their own personal tags in the MAGIK Supply as well. But as always, thank you guys. We appreciate you listening.
And we are Kicks and Comics. We're not all superheroes. We're capes. Somewhere Air Jordans.
Way to bounce back.
Good night, everybody.
Later.
Night night.